just a little bit more. Don't want to take too much from Anthony Stolarz, but for him to only have his fourth start now on November 9th, no one was expecting that, right? So big start as always now for Joseph Woll, because they might not come with as much regularity with Anthony Stolarz playing so well. Important that Woll has a good game tonight and continues to stack those up.
Yeah, this weekend was an easy one, decision-wise, because Friday, Saturday, back-to-back. So you give Stolarz the Friday night against Detroit, the Hall of Fame night tonight, last night, and then you give Woll the performance on the back-to-back with Montreal. Next two games are also a back-to-back. They have the Ottawa Senators and the Washington Capitals. So there's an easy decision there. They're both going to play. And then you got Edmonton Oilers, Saturday night, Hockey Night in Canada. I think we can both agree that that's probably Anthony Stolarz. And then you had a little bit more time, Vegas, and then a little bit of a break, and then Utah. So I think over the next stretch, he should get at least two more starts that are just guaranteed to him. And then you can start making decisions based on performance. But Anthony Stolarz has been like my favorite off-season and regular season storyline now. I definitely think I misevaluated the importance he would be to this team, and I think that was because
the whole league did, so don't feel so bad.
Thank you. I will sleep better tonight. I just feel better because I think maybe I thought a lot about Joseph Woll just taking this and running with it, but when he got injured and Anthony Stolarz just kind of came in, it was like when Martin Jones last year had to play a bunch of games, and we're like, oh, Martin Jones, that guy's pretty decent, Martin Jones, but this is a bit more real and a bit more sustainable. And a couple little fun tidbits I saw from Luke Fox's article up on sportsnet.ca talking about Anthony Stolar's mask. I don't know if you saw these yet, but he's got a couple things on the back of the mask. First of all, his goalie mask is beautiful. It's like the shiny, it's like glimmering from up here. But he has one thing on the back, prove people wrong. And, I mean, that's a pretty self-explanatory what that means, but he spoke about it and said there's always going to be people that doubt you. It's been like that for everybody. People don't want us to succeed, and it's up for us to battle through and come out on top. And I think it's just like a nice reflection point of a guy who's been, a career backup in a sense and hasn't got an opportunity to prove people wrong because he wasn't really getting an opportunity to run with it, and he's now got the chance to be the Leafs' #1 goalie, and he's kind of not have a chip on his back, or chip on his shoulder, but like he's playing with pride about this meaning something for him just career-wise. So I love that he has got that. He's also got another thing, and for those that like Wedding Crashers, he's got a slogan from Wedding Crashers, rule number 76, no excuses, play like a champion, which is hilarious. And he said, I just thought it was funny. It's one of my favorite movies growing up. I thought it would be something cool to put on there. So a little bit of a insight into what goes into goalies' designs, but I thought both of those messages kind of make sense for a guy like him.
I think for goalies, it's like maybe it applies most to goalies than any other athlete, is the right place, right time sort of thing. Like if Anthony Stolarz was thrust into a major market and there was an injury and he had to carry the load as a 26-year-old, how different maybe the career would be.
Yeah.
But he gets these chances to play under quality goaltenders with not that much in terms of pressure and market pressure, and just can kind of get his feet wet at the NHL level and build up some confidence where, he reaches unrestricted free agency at a moment where a team like the Toronto Maple Leafs, who can lift his profile more than any other, needs his services. Like, again, it could happen so many different ways for a goaltender. Not like a player who gets drafted first overall, is in the lineup night one and scores 4 goals. Like that story, not that specific story, but that type of story written every single year. It's not as simple with goaltenders. It is right place, right time. It was like that, it seems, for Joseph Woll until it was kind of the wrong time, at least for an injury to start the year.
He needs a new helmet where he puts his slogan
was more from,
PPW,
comedies,
prove people wrong.
Comedies that they don't make anymore. Why don't they make comedies anymore?
I don't know.
They just don't.
I still just rewatch The Office, so it's funny enough for me. What would you put on your helmet?
Oh, you're putting me on the spot. I don't know what I would
Okay, we'll come back after the break. You have an answer.
Think about it for a second while I have my second slice of pizza. But no, I just
just put this pizza emoji.
Yeah, honestly, that's the best idea
about as
I'm going to come up
Justin
with.
Gets.
Is the pizza emoji. What I was saying is,
did I derail you?
Stolarz getting to this spot, 30 years old, probably at the peak of his career, at least in terms of his talent and his experience meshing at the perfect time. it's just funny how these things work, and he's the type of personality that just seems ready to run with it, the mentality to run with it. And right now it's coming at the expense of tonight's starter, Joseph Wall.
Okay, do you want to do some quick lineup checks here?
I could read the lines.
Why don't
for you,
you read us the lines, Justin?
With warm-up wrapping up with about 3 minutes left, we do have the full lineup for you versus Montreal. Matthew Nyes, Max Domi, and Mitch Marner on the top line. Pacioretty, Tavares, and Nylander. It stays as it is, at least with that second unit. The third unit, McMahon, Holmberg, and Robertson, which played well last night versus the Red Wings. And then Lorentz, Camp, and Reeves on the fourth line. It's still Riley, Neckman, Larson, McCabe, Tanev, and Benoit, and Timmins. Connor Timmins is, Hakanpää, he's
Buddy,
coming.
I like Connor Timmins.
Hakanpää's coming, but Timmins has done a really nice job in that Martin Jones type situation.
He's jonesing it up.
He's jonesed it up so
I've
far.
liked,
and Joseph Wall in that.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Sorry. I've liked Connor Timmins quietly, and I think I was just shy to say it. But then when they got rid of Timothy Liljegren and they traded him, I was like, that made so much sense because I just watched Connor Timmins make like forward plus plays, and Timothy Liljegren not be able to like just get the puck out of the zone, a puck off his stick. And Connor Timmins just like quietly does his thing. So I've liked what he's been able to do. But you're right, there are two additions at least coming in the near time, right? Hakanpää and Dewar. I wonder if that means that there's somebody that needs to be traded off this roster, i.e. Nick Robertson.
I'm interested in the Connor Dewar plan because I look at the lineup and I'm like, oh yeah, you could take out Ryan Reeves, I suppose. But they're married to Ryan Reeves. They like Ryan Reeves.
They're never going to take out, like, they can take him out for a game.
Time and time again, they will, but it's not the permanent fix. You're right.
Financially, though?
But you look at that.
That would be great. That'd be great.
Sure, but you look at that fourth line, it's like, okay, David Camp, center depth's an issue, despite him maybe losing at least some credibility in this market and from coaching staff to coaching staff. Steven Lorentz is not going anywhere. Ryan Reeves is not going anywhere. I just don't know, like, you want third line Connor Dewar? I'm not sure I'm making wholesale changes in order to pull that off. So we'll see where Connor Dewar ends up. I'm sure they're going to use him because he does have, a really good utility, especially from a defensive penalty killing standpoint. But I just don't know exactly what the decision will be and how much it will involve Ryan Reeves at the end of the day, at least in terms of trying to optimize the lineup on a night-to-night basis. Want me to give you the Canadiens lines?
Yeah, I would like
while
that.
we have a moment. Cole Caulfield, Nick Suzuki, Kirby Doc on the top line, Jake Evans, Alex Newhook, Slavkovsky on the second, Anderson, Dvorak, and Gallagher, Heineman, Kandata, Armia on the fourth line. On the back end, a young back end, as we outlined with Eric Engels, Mike Matheson, the veteran, with Caden Gooley, Lane Hudson, and David Savard. Arbor Xhekaj and Struble rounds things off with Samuel Montembeault starting tonight.
Okay, all right. So we got Xhekaj and we got Reeves in the lineup.
Yeah, and we're still waiting for Ryan Reeves. Or did I miss his first fight?
He has not fought.
So it could come tonight against Arbor Xhekaj.
He has been on the ice.
We've been waiting for it since opening
4
night.
fights, and he has been in the scrums, but he hasn't fought yet. And I don't know. And not that I'm like itching for him to fight, but there has been moments where I'm like, oh, come on. Like, why is McCabe fighting? You're right there. Like, so I wonder if tonight's a night, boys.
Yeah, probably not a big deal, but there's definitely a participant on the other side that could engage him in Xhekaj. So we'll see.
They're interviewing Max Pacioretty right now, and I kind of forget sometimes that he was a Montreal Canadian. Mm-hmm. And I feel like tonight is big for him in his own barn against his old team. Like this could be a big Max Pacioretty night.
It sounds, I don't want to ruin your segment.
He's not my player to watch, but he might be an honorable mention.
He might, okay, honorable
You know
mention.
what? This would be my player to watch. Honorable mentions. Max Domi, who's got a relationship with the Montreal Canadiens, and so does Max Pacioretty.
So you've got a better one than those two angles.
I have about 5 minutes to figure it out.
Well, you could have played it cool and just picked Max.
No, I have a better one. I have a better one, and it's already loaded in the dock.
Okay,
I'm not
we're
changing it.
Ready to go. Yeah.
But how about some free ones for our friends listening on the other side, right? Like some free. Who doesn't want to beat the Montreal Canadiens, especially when you played for them?
Max Pacioretty. You're right. It's an interesting story because you go from captaining the franchise with Montreal
tonight. You have to hate them,
but not even hate them, but hundreds of years. But you're playing a more of a bit part role with the Maple Leafs. Like it's a top 6 role. He's important. He's not in the top 10 at least in terms of important Maple Leafs on a night-to-night basis, looking at the entire season. So you go from captaining legendary franchise, playing a smaller role on the other one later in your career. It must be an interesting night for him, especially though when he goes to Montreal.
Yeah, I can't imagine now you're bitter rivals. Like, is there someone else? I mean, the Bruins. Remove the Bruins from this. But if you are a Maple Leaf, is there someone you're supposed to hate more than the Canadiens? Did you just say the Jets? Armin mouthed the Jets. No.
Not the Jets.
If you're in that locker room.
The Jets the other way, yes.
The Jets the other way.
If
you're in the locker room, you're a Leaf, or I think you got to hate the Canadiens and the Bruins.
I guess my point is, like, when you mean a lot to the franchise because you were the captain.
No, I know what you mean. I just meant.
And if you're going to do the chasing rings, or I'm doing, I'm taking PTOs, you normally don't do that with the forever rival.
No, I know.
But Pacioretty did.
God, he might be my player to watch.
I think he's your player to watch.
You know what? We're taking a quick break. On the other side, we will give you our player to watch. We'll give you our key to victory. We'll give you the rest of our notes on our doc after 60 minutes of talking. And we'll throw it to a lovely Remembrance Day ceremony that we're going to have at Scotiabank Arena. So we'll be right back on the other side of the break. You're listening to Most Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan, the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
As fall approaches and birds head south, a different kind of bird emerges, the Subaru. While migratory flocks seek warmth, Subaru's symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive keeps drivers soaring through the wild. During the migrating season, Subaru's hunger for adventure grows exponentially, driving the intrigued radio listeners to fall for Subaru at their local Subaru dealerships, experiencing an adventure of their own. So migrate to your local Subaru dealership to book a test drive today.
Heard of Uline? You know, the have-it-all in-stock, ready-to-deliver shipping and industrial supply specialist.
Thank you, Leafs fans. Thank you, insiders. Thank you all for hanging out with us and making this the best place to hang out and watch Toronto sports together as a fan club and group of people who are making a real-world difference in the world. Wow, what a job by all of the SickKids creators during the Create 100K campaign. And thank you all for your contributions just by being here, just by clicking our video and hanging out with us, hitting that like button. You're making a difference in donations to SickKids Hospital. We were able to contribute over $3,000 to SickKids in this last run in the Create 100K, taking that total to record-breaking numbers. So a big shout out to all the creators who have been raising money for SickKids, and a huge shout out and thank you to all of you for your contributions. Thank you guys. We'll see you back in the chat. Go Leafs, go.
A wild, adventurous side of me. Alice is excited too.
Lease the CRV LX two-wheel drive from $99 weekly at 2.99% APR for 28 months with $2,000 down. Offer includes $1,500 lease bonus. OAC conditions apply. See HondaOntario.com.
The NASCAR Championship is on the line, and SiriusXM will take you to the track for every thrilling turn.
1, 2, 3 cars crashing and colliding.
Tomorrow at 2 Eastern, 4 drivers enter with equal points, and the highest finisher takes the crown.
This is Joey Logano. This is Tyler Reddick. Hey, it's William Byron.
This is Ryan Blaney. And driver-to-crew chatter puts you in the car for every lap.
Let's go get a championship, baby!
The NASCAR Cup Series Championship live from Phoenix. Listen on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90 in the car and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
You either put up or shut up. Marchand does, Doughty does, Stone does. And if you don't have enough of those players, get rid of them, because they'll make you lose. They'll frustrate the fan base. I want people that are with me, rowing in the same direction. And if you can't, get out of town. We'll find someone who can.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. Hockey 24/7 on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio.
This is the NHL. These are pros. You don't want guys to put good power play units on, don't take penalties. You don't want good power play units to score goals when you've given up a whole bunch, kill them. You don't like it, do something about it. If you want to reward your guys who had a good game with a chance to get some more goals and points, do it. If I was a coach, I wouldn't care. Who cares? Worry about your own team. Don't worry about mine.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and on your schedule with the SiriusXM app. NHL Morning Skate.
Michael Bunting of the Pittsburgh Penguins. You've always had the great ability to play with great players.
I think my style of play complements the top dogs, as you will, like kind of go to those harder areas in the corner in front of the net and kind of create space for them and get them the puck and, help them create offense off of that. So kind of found a little niche with that.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellar. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
The National Women's Soccer League Championship game is coming to SiriusXM.
Hey, it's World Cup winner Heather O'Reilly of SiriusXM FC. Join Jessica Charman and me for the first national radio broadcast of the NWSL Final.
That's right, Heather. We'll be taking you through every thrilling moment live from Kansas City.
Join us as we make history at the 2024 NWSL Final on Saturday, November 23rd at 8 Eastern.
And it's on SiriusXM FC channel 157 and streaming on the SiriusXM app.
The big names are on NHL Network Radio.
The head coach of the Carolina Hurricanes, Rod Brindamore.
Kucherov making that jump last year. What do you see in the net?
The kid wants it. That's the first thing. Is he going to be the guy that we're looking at this year to get after it and take a bigger role? Maybe. But we still got Freddie in here. I think he's got something to prove. So I think we're going to have a good battle in the net.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
This is Molson Leafs Hockey.
We're about to bring the war right now. Sound the alarm.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network. There's a Molson with your name on it.
Welcome to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Ayla Schwarpart, Justin Cuthbert back after an hour pregame show to get you set for puck drop. Leafs hosting the Montreal Canadiens here at Scotiabank Arena on Hockey Night in Canada. Leafs on a back-to-back. It's Hall of Fame weekend. Had a big win over the Red Wings last night, and they're looking to put 2 in a row for this crowd at Scotiabank.
Hey, on a celebratory hockey weekend, no better way to celebrate hockey than the Maple Leafs and Habs Saturday night in Toronto. They might argue it's better in Montreal, and maybe some days it is, but this is a special one in Toronto. And the Maple Leafs looking to build on what has been a really, really good week and cap off a brilliant week without Austin Matthews tonight.
He's coming back, Justin.
If they can get a win over Montreal, it will be okay, regardless, because they played so well without Matthews. But it'd be a nice feather in their cap to get this one tonight.
Yeah, no Matthews, no problem as of late. 39-19 and 2 all-time without Austin Matthews in the lineup, and we talked about it a little bit in our pregame show here. I think everyone just elevates a bit, right? Obviously, you don't want an extended absence with your all-star, perennial perfect goal scorer, but I think when he's not in the lineup, you see everyone bumped up a little bit more. They get a little bit more opportunity to touch the puck, to build confidence. Mitch Marner's a perfect example of that. He's on a 7-game point streak and just looking like he's finding his game. He's finding his joy. John Tavares, 13 points in the last 14 games. So everyone just gets a little bit more of the pie, and don't want that forever, but right now vibes are good, so capitalize on the opportunities you get.
Yep, chemistry exists on this team outside of Austin Matthews. It seems to exist with Max Domi and Mitch Marner. It's maybe redeveloped here with William Nylander and John Tavares and maybe Max Pacioretty helping that along. It seems like there's meaningful chemistry that's being built on this group, and it's just about finding the way for Austin Matthews to fit into that seamlessly instead of, changing the chemistry and the elixir as much as it needs to be when you're introducing a guy who can score 70 goals back into the lineup. Hopefully they can take a few lessons from his absence and be better when he comes back.
The other things that have improved with Matthews out of the lineup is this power play. Like, folks, a week ago, it was the worst ever to be iced in the history of the NHL. Now, it's red hot. 6 for 10 in the last little bit. They're just simplifying. They're getting pucks on net. They're attacking. They're not just coming in and setting up and killing time. It's more of a attack mentality. Craig Berube's happy with it, says they're simplifying it. They're getting pucks downhill and to the net. And I think with Matthew Nyes in the lineup, it's certainly helped having him. They call him Brick right in front of the goaltender, and whether it's bouncing off of him or it's bouncing to him, he's been a really great addition in that role. So something's working, and the power play's feeling good about themselves. I think confidence always helps, and when they're scoring, you're kind of excited to get over the boards and get on the ice for the power play, whereas a week ago you wanted to pretend you needed to tie your laces and not go back out. So things have changed in a positive way for them.
I think we'll see that. I think we'll see an excited group moving up to 18th in the NHL with this little run.
They were literally 32nd.
The strong point for the Montreal Canadiens this season has been their special teams.
They do have a strong point, Justin?
They're 12th on their power play and penalty kill so far this year. Everything else, though, has been pretty bad for the for the Canadiens, rather. Last place in the Atlantic Division, second fewest points in the league. Penguins are the only team allow more goals. This is a group that is really, really struggling to keep pucks out of their own net. They're struggling to keep up with the competition at 5-on-5. As I mentioned, special teams has been pretty good. But yeah, it's been kind of downhill since they last met the Maple Leafs on opening night. It hasn't been a brilliant start to the season for Montreal. They're certainly searching for answers.
Okay, so what's the Maple Leafs' key to victory tonight? It's brought to you by your Ontario Honda dealers. Up your game, lease the CRV from 2.99% up to 28 months. Visit HondaOntario.com. Justin, what's the key to victory?
Yeah, I think it goes back to the opening night loss. And if Samuel Montembeault wants to beat you again, then make sure that he stops 48 shots again, right? I think it's got to be about output. I think it's got to be about getting over that hump, so it's not like, can we ever beat this goaltender? Mm-hmm. Get one early, get shots early, a barrage of output. Everybody else is doing it to the Canadiens. No excuse for the Maple Leafs not to break that dam early. Don't let thoughts creep in about what Samuel Montembeault did to you last time out. If he wants to beat you, make another 48 saves.
If he has another 48 save performance and ends a 3-year shutout streak, then I don't know. Then I'm cursed because I come to 2 games, Leafs halves, and maybe it's my fault.
That's true. You were in the building in Montreal for the last one.
And that was a really great experience.
Expecting goals.
He stood on his head, but the Leafs didn't get it done. So I think that's a great, just put the pucks on net, boys. That easy, right?
We teased this on the other side in the pregame show. The player to watch, presented by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Play responsibly. Visit ConnexOntario.ca. Lots of options. Ailish, who did you end up going with?
Oh, I'm going to go with Max Pacioretty. I like a revenge angle. I like the old captain facing his former team on Hockey Night in Canada. I have scripted it nicely for you folks, and I think he might want to get some revenge. Our lovely producer, Armin, sent a little quote in about how Max Pacioretty has been feeling about rebounding after facing some adversity in his career, and he said, I've been through it all. But at this stage of my career, I don't have any other choice but to come in and play the way the team needs me to. It's late to find a role, but I have to keep it now. It's a bit different than my role earlier in my career, but I'll take it. So I'll take a Max Pacioretty goal anytime. Plus 290.
Plus 290. Hey, not getting the crazy, but coming
we'd be
down.
Up in the 500s here.
Expectation that Max Pacioretty. Maybe that's why you were looking elsewhere.
I was looking elsewhere at someone like a Mitch Marner, who I said has been on a little bit of a hot streak, and he's feeling good about himself, and he's getting more puck touches. My other bonus one is Max Domi, former team, and he needs to get cooking, I think. A little Max Domi.
Okay. He's been facilitating one Mitch Marner, though, on the top line for the Maple Leafs. Let's give you the lineup tonight for the Maple Leafs as they skated in warm-up tonight versus Montreal. Top line, Domi, Marner, and Matthew Nyes, who's been a revelation-ish on the power play for the Maple Leafs here of late. Pacioretty, your goal scorer, Tavares and Nylander, McMahon, Holmberg, and Robertson, Lorentz, Camp, and Reeves on a fourth line. Riley, Ekman, Larson, McCabe, Tanev, Benoit Timmins, with Joseph Wall in net tonight for the Maple Leafs. No changes other than the goaltender, after a real good night against Detroit last night.
I was looking at the Montreal Canadiens lineup, and the line of Gallagher, Dvorak, and Anderson. Gallagher and Anderson are two of the biggest Leaf killers. I just don't really think that there's anyone out. They really circle the Leafs, those two. So that third line might cause a little havoc against the Leafs tonight.
Yeah, I mean, Gallagher definitely has been a thorn in the side.
Josh Anderson scores every time he plays Leafs.
He doesn't score against any other team.
Only the Leafs.
But the difference from what's expected is definitely starker for Josh Anderson on that third line. It's been a quiet season, it seems, for Josh Anderson, still making a lot of money for the Montreal Canadiens. Give you the rest of the Canadiens lineup here. Cole Caulfield, who's got 10 goals on the season, just 1 assist, but 10 goals, very impressive, with Nick Suzuki and Kirby Dach, Alex Newhook, Jake Evans, Juraj Slavkovsky. That third line, Anderson, Dvorak, and Gallagher, with Heineman, Kandata, and Armia on the back end. It's a young back end, but very talented, especially with Lane Hudson, who will play with David Savard, Mike Matheson, the veteran, with Caden Gooley, and Arbor Xhekaj will play with Struble on the third line.
So we've got Xhekaj and Reeves in the lineup. We've got Montembeault and Joseph Woll, 2 goalies looking to kind of prove themselves as well. We've got former captains facing their former team. We've got former players facing their former team. We've got Hockey Night in Canada. We've got the Hall of Fame weekend. I think this is going to shape up to be a pretty great night. Maple Leafs have taken the last 8 straight home games against the Canadiens. I think that's a pretty favorable trend to follow. I feel like the Leafs, if they get out strong and they don't underestimate this opponent, they could do it. They could tie the longest home winning streak in this rivalry. So Leafs won 9 straight home games against the Canadiens from 1950 to 1951. I remember that well. Both teams have had multiple 8 straight home winning streaks against each other. So this one might mean something to them.
Yeah, history could definitely apply. Current form and current motivations could also apply, though. Montreal Canadiens recently bag skated after their 5th straight loss. Looking inward for sure. There's noise in the market. A little pressure ramping up on the Montreal Canadiens despite them being firmly in a rebuild. They just haven't shown that they're a better team than they were last year. And whenever that's the case, yeah, there's reason for a little noise in the market. So Montreal's trying to buck a trend. Montreal's trying to bounce back after what's been a tough first month of the season. And they probably fancy the Maple Leafs as a team to change things up against. And the Maple Leafs side, it's been successful without Matthews. Does the complacency come in when you've done so well without your superstar player? Or do the good times continue to roll, given that, they've had a lot of success and they kind of know how to deal without Austin Matthews, given their historical record of 39-19-2 all time without Matthews? It's never been a problem without 34 in the lineup for the Maple Leafs. They've found a way to all be a little bit better to make sure that they're not missing that loss too much. So both these teams have reason to take a victory tonight. And maybe the decider will be the fact that we're here at Scotiabank Arena.
I think one of the things that's most important for the Maple Leafs tonight, and it can't be understated, like in the past, the Leafs have taken poorer teams lightly, and you mentioned it, they're in a good spot right now. They're cooking, the chemistry's good, they're back at home, they've got a good vibe around them, and the Montreal Canadiens are going to be hungry to find a repeat to the way they started their season. So if I'm doing one thing, it's not taking anything lightly. The first period, the first 10 minutes, getting as much as I can on net, trying to crash the net, trying to be gritty, trying to make things happen, because honestly, if you go into the second period and it's 0-0, it starts to creep in like, this team, this means a lot to both teams. This is one of the biggest rivalries of all time. It's one of the most historical rivalries in sport. I think you just want to shut down any thoughts that the Habs are having of maybe sneaking another one by you.
All eyes should be on Joseph Woll as well, and I think that psychological component plays in there because Joseph Woll has played second fiddle to Anthony Stolarz so far this season. Just the 4th start on the year for Joseph Woll, who was supposed to be handed the car keys to begin this year. Don't want to drop his record to 1-3 on the season. Want to get that back to even. Joseph Woll, every time he gets a chance now, it's a big opportunity for him because Anthony Stolarz has done so much to cement himself as the #1 goaltender right now in this market. It's on Joseph Woll to try and keep pace.
All right, so special night at Scotiabank Arena. We mentioned a special weekend with the Hockey Hall of Fame inductions happening, and of course last night was a Hall of Fame game. Tonight will be a special one here with the Remembrance Day ceremony. So we're standing by to send it to the in-arena voices for you to listen. Those listening on our broadcast, you'll get a chance to hear what's going on in the arena. So we will send it to that shortly, and then we'll make sure we tee it up for Joe and Jim, who will have the call the first period. But we'll send it to our in-house broadcast now.
Monday will mark Remembrance Day, honoring those who have served and sacrificed for our freedom. The Toronto Maple Leafs and the Canadian military are forever connected, and it's our privilege to honor those who have bravely fought for our country. Born in Glasgow, Scotland, he enlisted in the British Army during the Second World War and served in an armored regiment as part of a Sherman tank crew. He and his crew fought all the way from Normandy to Germany. When the war ended, he moved to Canada, met his wife, and made it his home. Please welcome, at 99 years young, Bert Shinwell. Born in Toronto, he joined the Royal Canadian Air Force when World War II broke out, even though he was underage. He then switched to the Canadian Army, where he volunteered to join the Parachute Battalion. But by the time his jump training finished, the war was over. He recently did a parachute jump to celebrate his 100th birthday, raising money for the Hospital for Sick Children. At 100 years young, please welcome Ed Marshall. Born in Manitoba, he joined the Royal Winnipeg Rifles 7th Brigade at the age of 15 after lying about his age. His Winnipeg Rifles would fight their way ashore at Juno Beach. They advanced the furthest inland of all Allied armies on D-Day. Wounded twice in battle, today, Jim still lives with shrapnel in his leg. Please welcome, at 100 years young, Jim Parks. Born in Saskatchewan, she joined the Women's Royal Canadian Naval Service 5 days after turning 18, as she no longer required her mother's permission. She trained in Ottawa for the Postal Service and was posted to Halifax at HMCS Stadacona and HMCS Cornwallis, working as a postal clerk. Please welcome, at 100 years young, Mary Bell. Born in Guelph, he enlisted with the Canadian Army at age 18. He received training in large artillery before heading overseas. After being shipped to England, he was assigned to the Royal Regina Rifles, 7th Infantry Brigade, where he fought fiercely on the front lines through France, Belgium, and the Netherlands. His service won him France's highest military honor, the French Foreign Legion Medal. Please welcome, at 99 years young, Bill Seifred. We now ask that you please rise if you're able to, remove your hats, and welcome Pipe Major Alexander Brown of the 48th Highlanders of Canada as he performs Amazing Grace, followed by a moment of silence. We ask that you remain standing and join Natalie Morris, accompanied by the flag party from His Majesty's Canadian Ship York, in the singing of our national.
All right, Jim, Ralph, and Joe Bone will have the call. The first period next. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
The UEFA Champions League is back on Sirius XM FC, and this year it's bigger than ever.
Absolutely ridiculous from Real Madrid. Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Now with more matches featuring soccer's most iconic clubs as they battle it out for European supremacy.
What a start for Inter! Haaland scores the hat-trick!
trick.
From the league phase to the final, the Champions League is on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Coolius.
You either put up or shut up. Marchand does, Doughty does, Stone does. And if you don't have enough of those players...
Yeah, that's right. It's Hockey Night in Canada, everybody. The best theme song. Just gets me in a good mood because it's Saturday night. Thank you so much for being here, hanging out with us, the Leafs, the Canadiens, Toronto, Montreal. It doesn't get any bigger. Thank you all for being here. Please hit that like button and share this thing out so we can find more hockey fans, preferably Leafs fans, but Habs fans, it's fun too because a little bit of trash talk is always enjoyable here on TSI when we're hanging out together, keeping it classy. Now let's get back to the hockey. Thank you for liking. Let's hit, I don't know, let's go for 1,500 tonight. That sounds good. Maybe 2,000. We've been rolling. Thank you so much for hitting that like and sharing this link out. We'll see you guys back in the chat. Go Leafs, go. Let's tear up Montreal and get it done. Hockey Night in Canada. Let's go.
The top dogs, as you will, like kind of go to those harder areas in the corner in front of the net and kind of create space for them and get them the puck and, help them create offense off of that. So kind of found a little niche with that.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stiller. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app.
From in the crease
To in the locker room.
Flyers defenseman Travis Sanheim.
Is it a rebuild type thing? Is it definitely a playoff team in your mind?
I think last season, I don't know if anyone in our room was saying rebuild. We thought that we could surprise some teams, and I think we did that. A lot of guys that are coming back, and then obviously adding neat stuff is going to be huge. So, we're looking forward to getting started and seeing if we can build off of last season.
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio,
Sirius XM 91.
and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app.
The National Women's Soccer League Championship game is coming to Sirius XM.
Hey, it's World Cup winner Heather O'Reilly of Sirius XM FC. Join Jessica Charman and me for the first national radio broadcast of the NWSL final.
That's right, Heather. We'll be taking you through every thrilling moment live from Kansas City.
Join us as we make history at the 2024 NWSL final on Saturday, November 23rd at 8 Eastern.
And it's on Sirius XM FC channel 157 and streaming on the Sirius XM app.
The big names are on NHL Network Radio.
The head coach of the Carolina Hurricanes, Rod Brindamore.
Kucherov making that jump last year. What do you see in the net?
The kid wants it. That's the first thing. Is he going to be the guy that we're looking at this year to get after it and take a bigger role? Maybe. But we still got Freddie in here. I think he's got something to prove. So I think we're going to have a good battle in the net.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Scott Laughlin, and Gord Stellick, along with former NHLer Mike Johnson for NHL Morning Skate, weekday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Giretti, and he knocked down Evans with a pretty good hit. Or excuse me, no, that was Caden Gooley who got clipped right on the boards in the Montreal zone. Long shoot and high over top of the Canadiens' goal. Played around back of the net and chipped up on the boards. Kirby Doc trying to get it out, but Marner stole it back. In on the wing on the left wing side for Nyes, and the shot ramps off his stick and goes up into the screen and out of play. The representatives of the Rotundas tonight brought to you by Molson. Molson, everyone in. It is, in fact, Sam Montembeault in goal for Montreal. 3-6-1 this season, 3.46. He's 3-4-0 lifetime against the Maple Leafs. Joseph Wall, 1-2-0 for the Leafs, 2.70 and an .892 save percentage, gets the call. He's 1-0 against Montreal with a 1.01 goals against average in the one game he's played in his young career. Played down into the Toronto zone. The puck into the corner and a centering pass. Oh, and a great opportunity there, and it was just sent wide of the net. Another shot goes wide. Sharp angle and a tip there by Tanev to knock it away. The chance, really the good chance, was Nick Suzuki, who was just off to the left wing side. And that went wide. So the Leafs dodge a bullet early here. Canadians play it back into the Leaf end. Benoit to the far side, quickly played up, almost intercepted, but it rolls out into the center ice area. And Struble is there for the Canadiens, who are trying to avoid a 6th straight loss. Played out into the center ice area. Canadiens shoot it right back in again as Gallagher sends it into the corner. Leafs get it ahead for Camp. And out at center ice, it's played off a stick and into Montreal territory. Lorenz into the forecheck. Reeves is able to help out by playing it around back of the net. Cutting down on the boards was Ekman Larsson to kick it into the far corner. Poke free, and Reeves has it again. A centering pass, and it went right through the goal crease, and Lorenz couldn't get a stick on it. Camp back of the net. Fourth line doing a nice job here. Reeves keeps the puck in. Now trying to stick handle with it. Got it freed up for Camp. Camp around back of the net, had it cut off by Struble, and the Canadiens will backhand and get it out at center ice. Leafs back in their own zone. No score, just nicely underway on a Saturday night where the Leafs are trying to make a bad day all around for Montreal sports teams after the Argonauts beating the Alouettes in the Eastern Conference Final this afternoon. Oh, sorry. I was inappropriate there. Brought in now and around back of the net. Poked along the boards there by Robertson, and up on the wing it goes. Pontus Holmberg couldn't get it out. Canadiens with a shot that deflects off a body wide. Trapped on the near wall, and back to the point it goes. Matheson with a shot. That stopped the rebound on the near side. Centered in front of the goal. Pad saving a brilliant one and swallowed up by Wall.
Leafs get collapsed right in front of their own net. The puck keeps ending up on a Montreal stick. And Joseph Wall early on in full scramble mode. Puck goes off the backboards, out to the other side, funneled to the front of the net. And the shot, actually the original shot, was off of Montreal's skate and sits there. And Wall, that's why he's in full scramble mode, is now trying to adjust to a puck that's sitting still at the top of the crease. They still have not given the Canadiens show an official shot on goal here. And when you look at the replay, there was no shot. It was just sitting there, and Wall was able to sit on it.
Pacioretty gets across the Canadiens line with a backhand pass and just out of the reach of Tavares. Now Nylander working back towards the blue line, sends it to the net. That was kicked away by Montembeault, and it was a dangerous rebound, but no one there to do any damage with it. Cleared right back in again. The Leafs, who could only score 5-on-5, now haven't scored 5-on-5
in a week. And have 5 out of 6 points.
Wonderful sport. Brought in over the line by Newhook. He stops up at the near half boards for Montreal. Newhook working back to the point. In on the left wing side. Now circles back of the goal. Sends it back to the blue line once more. Kept in there by Gooley. Now to Newhook. He has difficulties with it. Canadiens trying to keep it in, but it's poked out into the center ice area. And the Canadiens have to go back into the center ice zone and now bring it in. Matheson working back towards the point. Sends it around back of the net for Suzuki. Canadiens have been the more aggressive team. Long shot, and Wall sees that all of the way. But a great job by Connor Timmins. He took out not one, but 2 Canadiens players and shoved them out of the way. So Wall had a pretty good view of a fairly easy shot to take.
A couple of streaks on the line coming into this game tonight. The Montreal Canadiens on a 5-game winless streak, 0-4-1 in that stretch. But the Leafs also have an 8-game home winning streak on the line against the Montreal Canadiens. Their longest streak was 9 straight home wins over the Canadiens back between 1950 and 1951.
Gooley's shot blocked by Wall. Nye starts out at center but can't get around Matheson. Then he does, and now trying to center and had it knocked around back of the net. Domi overskated the puck and gets into a hit there on the near side, and Nye frees it up for Marner. Marner gets it back for Domi and around back of the net. Bank pass to the point. Tanev with a shot, and it went high and wide of the Montreal goal. Bouncing puck in the Canadian zone, poked out at center ice, and Tanev has it again. Christopher Tanev stretching things out, trying to get a Change of players, finds Marner. He leaves it on the left wing side, and Nyes tips it into the zone, and Camp is into the forecheck for Toronto. Camp back of the net, works to the near corner. Still has it, and now cycles it back behind for Reeves. Reeves playing it back to the point. Ekman Larson with a shot. That was stopped, and a huge rebound is cleared into the Toronto zone, forcing Ekman Larson back into his own territory. Riley got his pass, and then as he tried to get it ahead on the wing for Lorentz, it goes over the glass and out of play, and it'll bring a face-off in the neutral zone with 14:10 left to play in the period. Congratulations to the Argonauts, a 30-28 victory, but in the process, they lost their starting quarterback as Kelly went down with a broken ankle and is being assessed to, and so Mr. Arbuckle will get the chance to quarterback this team on its way to the Grey Cup. And my son Sean, who works for the Argos, says they're leaving Monday, Dad. We're on our way.
He's traveling?
Yeah, he travels with the team.
Great. Well.
Yeah. Yes, he's having a lot of fun with it.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. And across the line into the Toronto zone, played by Tanev, back in along the boards. Swept by Anderson to the point. Trapped there to the near side for Struble. Struble plays it into the corner, centering shot. Oh, and a quick shot by Josh Anderson. Went just wide of that far post. Probably the best scoring chance either team has had. Now Lorenz trying to stutter step his way in across the line, but can't get around the Montreal defender as it's reversed up on the boards, and Struble will play it out into the neutral zone. Bounces to the Toronto blue line. Fed ahead now for Robertson. Robertson sends it high. I mean real high. That looked like a field goal from about 55 yards out. And I think it was good.
It would have been out at Fenway, wouldn't it?
It would have. Yes, it would have. 13-14 to play, first period. There is no score. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Focus your mind, reduce stress, and rest easy with instrumental lo-fi hip-hop channels in the Sirius XM app. Start the day with an upbeat jolt of Lo-Fi Cafe. Stay in the zone with Lo-Fi Study. Or drift off to Lo-Fi Sleep. Explore them all at home on Alexa, Google Home, smart TVs, and everywhere on the Sirius XM app. Just search Lo-Fi.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
You either put up or shut up. Marchand does, Doughty does, Stone does. And if you don't have enough of those players, get rid of them, because they'll make you lose. They'll frustrate the fan base. I want people that are with me, rowing in the same direction. And if you can't, get out of town. We'll find someone who can.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
The National Women's Soccer League Championship game is coming to Sirius XM.
Hey, it's World Cup winner Heather O'Reilly of Sirius XM FC. Join Jessica Charman and me for the first national radio broadcast of the NWSL final.
That's right, Heather. We'll be taking you through every thrilling moment live from Kansas City.
Join us as we make history at the 2024 NWSL final on Saturday, November 23rd at 8.
What's up, hockey fans? Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. It's Saturday night, hockey night in Canada. There's nothing better than Saturday night with the Leafs. And guess what? It's Montreal too. That's always the best. Toronto, Montreal. Thank you all for being here. Now's the time to let us know where you're watching from. Put it out in the chat. What country you're watching from. Put your flag emoji out there. Let us know in Canada, your city and province. How many people do we have throughout this great land of Canada tonight on Hockey Night in Canada, as well as the rest of the world? Let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go. We'll see you back in the chat.
Not today.
Once the paywall goes down, I'll read it.
I see. Oh, yeah. All right. I'll send you the app or the link. I can send you the link.
No, then you got to pay for it. But you must have the hard copy of a paper.
Oh, yes. No, I went and bought a bunch of them. Yeah, come on.
I want one of those.
Oh, you want one of those?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll see what I get.
I want to sign up for stuff.
No. Played in over the line for the Leafs, and then the Canadiens have fired it down into the Toronto zone off a body. And it's played up on the wing, but Nylander was late getting there. Canadians are able to keep it into the Toronto zone with a shot, and that goes off a body and up into the screen and out of play. Shots are 3-2 in favor of Toronto. I'm trying to remember the Leaf shots, and I really can't. But
a 1-point shot. Really, these two opened the season in Montreal. Canadians ended a lengthy Leaf non-shutout streak with a 1-0 win. What's amazing is since then, so Samuel Montembeault starts the season with a 47 save shutout. That's like having 5 mulligans for your save percentage to go the rest of the season, and he comes in with an .892 save percentage. So things have
not gone as well.
Yeah, not continued for the Canadians at this point. But I think realistically, they know they're not a playoff team yet, but obviously want to show signs of improvement.
Puck down in the Canadian zone, kicked by Doc, the center ice, but the Leafs intercept. Brought in on the left wing, Bernays, and a shot from Marner on the far side went just wide. Nicely set up by the forwards there. Tanev up ahead for Marner. Gains the zone. Tried to make a pass for Domi, but it hit a skate. Matheson plays it around the boards, and the Canadians get it out. You were hoping about something?
No, the big hit by Nyes on Matheson knocked him to the ice.
Puck down on the far side. A shot deflects wide of the goal. Over on the near wing, trying to work down the boards is Struble. He had the puck go free. Marner's going to get to it and plays it around back of the net. And Timmins gets it up on the left wing for Benoit. He gains center ice, and the Quebec native sends it down into the Montreal zone. Canadians get it up on the wing and have it turned over there as McMahon got back to control the puck. Now a traffic jam along the near boards. Robertson got it freed up but couldn't get it out. Now the Leafs try to stretch things out, and they'll find Holmberg available on the wing, and he shoots it in. Robertson down the boards, intercepts, got it into the slot, and a good wrist shot taken by Bobby McMahon was blockered away by Montembeault. Pretty good chance there for the Leafs. Set up by Robertson.
And a goal called back last night in the first period against the Red Wings.
Ekman-Larsson sends it into the Montreal zone. Both teams are changing. We played 9 minutes of scoreless hockey. Played in over the line. Grabbed off there by Anderson as he tried to drive the net. And that was turned aside. Suzuki can't come away with it. A good hit in there by Gallagher. Brought back by Anderson. Anderson at the point, and that deflects into the corner. Leafs looking for an outlet, and they'll find one to an open wing as it comes to center ice. Reeves knocked his man to the boards, but it's brought in over the line by Dvorak. Back on the right wing side now for Savard, and a shot that was knocked away. Into the corner it is Tanev, trying to chip it along the wall. Reeves muscles his man to the boards. The Leafs come away with the loose puck, and they're going to circle back in their own end to stretch things out as Montreal is changing. Now Lorentz needs to get to the bench, and he has done that. Nylander swinging in the corner, now goes back of the net, leaves the puck, and is brought out now by the Leaf defense. Up on the right side for Tanev. Long diagonal, shoot it into the corner. Knocked in along the boards, and now Nylander unable to get to it in time, but Tavares has stolen it, sends it around back of the net, just out of the reach of Nylander, who steals it back, but couldn't get it in front. Now here's a chance. Pacioretty couldn't find it up on the boards. Canadians having difficulty getting out. Pacioretty loses the puck. Jake Evans can't get it by Nylander. Nylander was being held, but no call. And the Canadians have gotten it out and down into the Leaf end. A turnover almost delivered a great scoring chance. The Leafs are able to chip it out at center ice and get a change started. A lot like the game last night. Not many scoring chances. Shots limited. 4-2 in favor of Toronto. The Leafs showed a very patient hockey team last night and coming away with their victory over Detroit 3-1. Back to the blue line. It's going to come out into the center ice area, and Riley will get it into the neutral zone, and now Domi in across the line. He stopped up but lost the puck when he was going to make a pass in the slot as Marner was going down in the middle of the rink. Canadians send a long bouncing shot, And the linesmen have said that that is offside, and since it rolled into the net area, the whistle has gone to stop play with 8:38 remaining in a scoreless first period. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Fall for Subaru by enjoying fall to the fullest. Think scarlet, burgundy, amber, crimson and copper, but never, never blue. Because with Subaru's symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive, fall is for thick, dark mud splats, terracotta mountain roads, radiant sunsets, kaleidoscopic leaf carpets, and the boldest of adventures. Avoid autumn blues and visit your local Subaru dealership to book a test drive today.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. The one that's hanging out with us on Hockey Night in Canada, listening to the Leafs and the Habs. Thanks for being here. Why haven't you subscribed yet? We are growing the biggest community of Toronto sports fans on the internet and having fun every single Maple Leafs game. Please hit that subscribe button and help our amazing community on our way to 75,000 subscribers/insiders. Thank you to all of you who have already subscribed. It's a dream come true. Now let's get back to having fun with the hockey game and chatting it up. We'll see you guys back in there. Go Leafs, go! Thank you for hitting that subscribe button. Let's go.
From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars, there's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Another outstanding Remembrance Day ceremony here at Scotiabank Arena, and one of the Armed Forces members saluted as well, and Doug Gilmour in the house to present a jersey. But you talk about the world's greatest generation.
Yep.
Some of those people that are out there 100 years young.
Well, and one jumped out of an airplane and went skydiving to celebrate his 100th birthday and raise money for SickKids. So
what a story.
Yeah.
The bravery that they showed. We get people now that, well, never mind. Now along the boards in the Toronto zone. Holmberg trying to chip it up along the wall, had it blocked. Canadians around back of the net, trying to come out with it as Heineman, and gets it back to the point. D-to-D pass to Savard, and a shot in traffic, didn't make it through, and it's cleared on the wing, and Robertson won't get there in time as Jackeye sends it back into the Leaf zone. Clipped up on the wing, and it'll be forced back into the Canadiens' end. Going back for it is Christian Dvorak. He starts up ice. Dvorak hits the line and on the left wing goes wide. Knocked down. Look out! He went crashing nose first into the boards, trying to get around Ekman Larsson. Leafs bring it back the other way. Pass into the slot area for Pacioretty. Tried to set up Tavares on the far side, and it just hit a skate, and now an icing call. I didn't think that Ekman Larsson tripped him, but boy, he went in nose first, didn't he?
Yeah, neither official, and thankfully he got up quickly. We're trying to maybe look at a replay of this. Maybe Dvorak just loses an edge trying to come into the Leaf zone. Not going to see it. The face-off will be to the right of Samuel Montembeault. But yeah, you talk about a low event period again. Shots on goal just 4-2, 7:33 to go. Now, last night, it was actually a bonus in the third period.
Here's Nylander getting it off on the right wing side. A shot didn't make it through. Went off a skate. Finds the mesh again. Another face-off in the Canadiens' end of the rink.
Leafs have really had the better opportunities to score goals. They haven't resulted in shots, but even that one there, if that connects, it's a backdoor tap in. Saw a little earlier where Pacioretty tried to get over to John Tavares. That just didn't click.
Face-off to the left of Montembeault. Canadians win the face-off and are going to get it ahead. Evans plays it down into the Toronto zone. Wall out of the cage to pump it around on the boards. Grabbed off by Nylander. He circles the net now with it and looks up ice and makes a lead pass ahead for Tavares, who drops for Nylander, and with speed he's in on the left wing. Shooting! And it's into the chest of Montembeault, and he will cover up. Nylander, when he scores, the Leafs record is 31-4-5.
What do you think?
Why doesn't he score more?
But do you think there's anybody that has a record of like 7-56-3 when he scores?
Dennis Brooke.
The California Seal, the Cleveland Barons,
Washington Capitals. Okay, that was unfair.
Yeah.
Dennis is a good friend, so
and a 60-goal scorer.
Well, yeah, exactly. Played around the boards to the far side. They are celebrating the anniversary of the Capitals, and he's been down there enjoying some of the festivities. Morgan Riley, left point, toe drag, and it went over the net off a stick. Domi is crumpled up on the end boards and is slow to get up as the puck comes back at center and down into the Toronto zone. Max getting back into the swing of things back in his own end. And the pass comes ahead. Apparently he's all right. He had a chance to go to the bench, but did not. Nye sends it down into the corner. Morgan Riley is in there holding it up against the boards in the Montreal end. Canadiens have dug it free, and it is Kirby Dach getting it around back of the net. 6:10 to play in a scoreless first period. An errant pass will turn into an icing against Les Bleus, Blancs et Rouges. And back into the Canadian zone it comes.
We usually see, too, when you get a lot of original 6 teams in, a lot of original 6 jerseys in the away squad. I think we saw more than a few Red Wing jerseys last night. I'd say a pretty healthy sprinkle of Montreal Canadiens jerseys here. Of course, it's the same thing wherever the Leafs travel.
I think. Played down into the Toronto zone against the boards. Armia cycles it along, but Tanev broke up the cycle, got it to the line, but not out. Leafs can't come up with it. Kept alive by Armia into the left wing side, and a centering pass, and Heineman right on the goal crease couldn't make contact. Leafs get it out at center. Shot back into the Toronto end, and Tanev turns. Tanev to defense partner McCabe. Quickly ahead up the middle for David Kampf. Kampf sends a long shoot in well wide of the net. Lorentz works it back of the goal, trying to get to Kampf. Kampf sends it back to the point. Shot taken by Benoit, was easily deflected wide. Kept alive on the near boards by Reeves. Back to Benoit, middle of the ice. Dishes off on the right wing side. Timmins fanned on it, but now he's got a great chance going to the net with a shot. He scores! Connor Timmins opens the scoring, and you put this one beside better luck than good management.
Well, he fans on a first attempt to move the puck from the right point and got it just past Josh Anderson, who was coming out to play him. That allowed Timmins the ability to jump around the Montreal player and then had, 35 feet of free ice to take it from the right point towards the net. And he snaps it past Montembeault. David Kampf right in front as well. Does that go off him or the Montreal player? It might have been Christian Dvorak that had it deflect off him and drop into the net blocker side to give the Leafs a 1-0 lead on their 6th shot on goal. But it was a spinorama move after Timmins had initially flubbed the attempt to get it to the net.
It was such a good flub, it was a great fake. Canadians bring it back the other way, but Matheson can't drive the net. And Timmins gets it ahead, and now here's McMahon sliding it in for Robertson, who goes down into the corner, but it's going to be an offside or icing, or I guess it's going to be called an icing. So it'll be brought back. So the St. Catharines native Connor Timmins, who scored once last year, had 2 the year before, has his first to go along with 3 assists here thus far.
4 goals now in his career in 105 games played. And from a Leaf standpoint, that is the 6th goal of the season scored by a defenseman. Morgan Riley's got 4 of them.
Maple Leafs goal, his first of the season.
Benoit had his pocket pick, but the pass up the middle was grabbed off by Robertson to McMahon. He couldn't drive around the defense as Evans got in the way. The Canadiens have the puck in their own zone. 4:19 left to play in the first period. Here across the line is Caulfield. Caulfield with a shot that deflects and has gone up into the screen as well. And so another stoppage of play. And a break in the action with 4:11 to play in the first period. Connor Timmins has the Leafs on the board, 1-0. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
This week on Let's Go with Bill Belichick, Max Crosby, Peter King, and me, Jim Gray.
Barkley beats one man, spins past another, leaps over a third. What was that?
I wonder if you saw the Saquon Barkley reverse jump.
Everyone knows he's a freaky athlete. I've never seen anything like that, I'm not going to lie. It's like the greatest 15-yard run I've ever seen in my life.
Listen to the extended version of Let's Go, now available exclusively on the all-new SiriusXM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Thank you, Leafs fans. Thank you, insiders. Thank you all for hanging out with us and making this the best place to hang out and watch Toronto sports together as a fan club and group of people who are making a real-world difference in the world. Wow. What a job by all of the SickKids creators during the Create 100K campaign. And thank you all for your contributions just by being here, just by clicking our video and hanging out with us, hitting that like button. You're making a difference in donations to SickKids Hospital. We were able to contribute over $3,000 to SickKids in this last run in the Create 100K, taking that total to record-breaking numbers. So a big shout out to all the creators who have been raising money for SickKids, and a huge shout out and thank you to all of you for your contributions. Thank you guys. We'll see you back in the chat. Go Leafs, go.
Walks in, put it between his legs, shoots and scores!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Leafs Radio Network.
First period brought to you by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Play responsibly. Visit connexontario.ca. Face off to the left in the Toronto zone. We want to send along our condolences to Christine and Craig Simpson, our confrere down the row here who does Hockey Night in Canada. Their mom, Marion, passing away this week. Just a little shy of 89 years as Tavares comes in with a shot, and that was blockered away by Sam Montembeault.
Yeah, brother David as well.
Yes.
The Simpson clan.
And an icing call here against Montreal.
Well, what about this? I know you and I are the same. We're not betting fellas. But what do you think a little wager on Connor Timmins from Simon Benoit and Ryan Reeves would have fetched you in the first period?
What? It got a lot of people off the schneid. Yeah. That's Reeves' first point.
Yep.
And Benoit's second point. And Timmins, who has 4 career goals, that's his first. Yeah, you're right. It might have
might have hit the jackpot.
May hit the jackpot there. Then I'm going to get somebody to phone me. Yeah, I had that. Yeah, I'm retiring tomorrow. Good. Here's Nylander against the boards. Can't keep it in. Canadiens take it through center with Evans. Poked off his stick, but carried in with a pass on the wing for Slafkovsky. Slafkovsky back to the point. Long shot, and seeing that all the way was Wall. And he grabbed that with the left hand. A lot being made of the save that Anthony Stolarz made last night when he decided to take his blocking glove off and just pick the puck up and show the referee he had it. I don't think you want to do that a lot.
No.
That's not the brightest thing to do. There's skates that are really sharp down there, not to mention all the sticks that are hacking and whacking at it.
Oh, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was. Hey, Johnny Bauer played without a mask, so why shouldn't these guys be able to play without wearing gloves? Never mind. Shot down into the Montreal zone. Montembeault pumps it along the wall. Marner dug it out, but Suzuki comes away with it, and then Marner stole it back from him. Canadians will tip it in over the blue line, but Tanev is there, and Marner goes left wing side just out of the reach of Nyes. Nyes down into the corner. Rampages in there. Got a good body check in there, and the puck comes free to Marner. Marner trying to push it back up the wall to find Domi, but it's around to the far corner. Pinching down is Tanev. Poked it back of the net for Nyes. He's tied up sufficiently by Gooley. Puck trying to be pried free. Marner did. Got it to Domi. Domi a nice play to get it back to the point. And then a D-to-D pass for McCabe. Just was out of his reach, or he might have had a pretty good scoring chance. Lead pass for the Canadiens has gone astray. And with 2:23 to play in the period, another face-off coming in the Montreal zone. The shots they have.
They took that last one away.
Oh, no.
It looked like it, the one that Joseph Wall gloved. I kept checking back. I thought, okay, it might have been a little off the mark, and some eagle eyes down the way decided that Joseph Wall is not.
Guys could ruin a lot of careers.
Yeah.
At the point of shot, that was deflected just in front. Pacioretty is down and getting up slowly, and he's hurt. He has injured a hamstring, I believe, as he is just making his way to the Leaf bench now. Canadians break it down into the Toronto zone. A hit in against the boards. Tavares in there as well. And then a body check on McMahon didn't work, and the Leafs are back in with Nylander looking for McMahon, and that pass was intercepted. Joel Armia got it back and brought in with Heineman getting it down into the zone.
Yeah, Pacioretty was grabbing his left hamstring, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Shot from the point, deflects wide of the Leaf goal. Puck in around the boards. Connor Dewar is with the team and is off the injured list. Though, if in fact that is the situation, we may be seeing as a change here for the game against Ottawa as it's cleared into the Toronto end.
Well, that was Connor Timmins' first goal since December 12th last season. So it's first in 30 games.
And in the preseason, Mary had a mid-ball.
Yeah, and then got hurt before the start of the regular season.
Puck back in the Toronto zone. Timmins makes a little head fake, gets it up ahead for Reeves. Reeves plays it back to Timmins in the defensive zone. And now Benoit will play it ahead, and Reeves deflects it down into the Montreal end. Hustling in there after it is Pontus Holmberg. He is spun around. It is swept around to the far side, out of the reach of Timmins, though. And it'll go back to the Toronto blue line with 34 seconds left in the period. Canadians playing it out at center off a stick. Robertson got it ahead. Flipped to the blue line and in. Jackeye almost had his pocket picked there by Robertson. Puck comes through center ice. And offside, says the linesman at the Toronto blue line with 16.8 seconds remaining in the first period.
Yeah, the Leafs only giving up the 2 shots on goal so far, 5 of the previous 6. The Leafs have given up fewer than 30 shots on goal. And that will get the goalie stats a little bit better, and they certainly look like they're going to make it 6 of 7 of fewer than 30 shots against.
It might be not 30 in a week. Pass ahead for Nyes. He got high sticked in the mouth, and that goes without a call. Guess we'd better mention who the other folks on the ice are, as the pass into the slot for Evans didn't work. There's the horn that ends the period. TJ Luxmore and Kelly Sutherland have the armbands. Bevan Mills and Kyle Flemington are the linesmen.
Well, that was definitely a high stick right into the schnoz of Matthew Nyes, who is trying to go wide of the Montreal defender.
David Savard with the high stick that goes undetected, but the Leafs Get a goal in the first period from some unlikely sources. Timmins from Benoit and Reeves at 14:55 and lead it by a score of 1-0. Ailish Forfire and Justin Cuthbert coming your way. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Feel the fury and rage of liquid metal. A channel that delivers a relentless barrage of bone-crushing sound. From Metallica, Pantera, and Slipknot to the hardest and heaviest rock of this moment.
You know it's
Jump into the pit on Liquid Metal, Channel 40. And at home on Alexa, Google Home, smart TVs, and everywhere on the SiriusXM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
You either put up or shut up. Marchand does, Doughty does, Stone does. And if you don't have enough of those players, get rid of them. Because they'll make you lose. They'll frustrate the fan base. I want people that are with me, rowing in the same direction. And if you can't, get out of town. We'll find someone who can.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. Hockey 24/7 on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio.
This is the NHL. These are pros. You don't want guys to put good power play units on, don't take penalties. You don't want good power play units to score goals when you've given up a whole bunch, kill them. You don't like it, do something about it. If you want to reward your guys who had a good game with a chance to get some more goals and points, do it. If I was a coach, I wouldn't care. Who cares? Worry about your own team. Don't worry about mine.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio,
SiriusXM 91,
and on your schedule with the SiriusXM app. NHL Morning Skate.
Michael Bunting of the Pittsburgh Penguins. You've always had the great ability to play with great players.
I think my style of play complements the top dogs, as you will, like kind of go to those harder areas in the corner in front of the net and kind of create space for them and get them the puck and, you know, help them create offense off of that. So kind of found a little niche with that.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellar. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
The National Women's Soccer League Championship game is coming to SiriusXM.
Hey, it's World Cup winner Heather O'Reilly of SiriusXM FC. Join Jessica Charman and me for the first national radio broadcast of the NWSL Final.
That's right, Heather. We'll be taking you through every thrilling moment live from Kansas City.
Join us as we make history at the 2024 NWSL Final on Saturday, November 23rd at 8 Eastern.
And it's on SiriusXM FC channel 157 and streaming on the SiriusXM app.
The big names are on NHL Network Radio.
The head coach of the Carolina Hurricanes, Rod Brindamore.
Kochetkov making that jump last year. What do you see in the net?
The kid wants it. That's the first thing. Is he going to be the guy that we're looking at this year to get after it and take a bigger role? Maybe. You know, but we still got Freddie in here. I think he's got something to prove. So I think we're going to have a good battle in the net.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
From in the crease to in the locker room.
Flyers defenseman Travis Sanheim.
Is it a rebuild type thing? Is it definitely a playoff team in your mind?
I think last season, I don't know if anyone in our room was saying rebuild. We thought that we could surprise some teams, and I think we did that. A lot of guys that are coming back, and then obviously adding neat stuff is going to be huge. So, you know, we're looking forward to getting started and seeing if we can build off of last season.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio,
SiriusXM 91,
and on your schedule with the SiriusXM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
Leafs Radio Network.
Timmins spanned on it, but now he's got a great chance going to the net with a shot. He scores! Connor Timmins opens the scoring, and you put this one beside better luck than good management.
Welcome to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Ailish Forfire and Justin Cuthbert for your intermissions. And it's a 1-0 lead for the Maple Leafs after 20 minutes. Shots 7-2. And I don't know if Bonesy's ever called the goal from Timmins, Benoit, and Reeves, but there's a time for everything.
Yeah, it's like, you know, NFL scoregami when it's like, this is the first time in NFL history that a team beat another team 65-5.
Yep.
This is NHL scoregami because you never thought you'd ever see Connor Timmins from Simone Benoit and Ryan Reeves, but we saw it
open the
tonight.
scoring, too. Not like, you know, we're in garbage time here. Like, to lead the team into the first period with the score 1-0. I think that would be a great thing to have, is all of Bonesy's goals tracked. Like, how many times has he called Marner from Matthews and Nylander? And someone's smart out there. The people that make that
the most common goal in this iteration of the Maple Leafs history is what we're going to
Puckdoku. We need somebody listening that's good at tech, coding.
What would you guess it is? Matthews from Marner and...
Matthews. Well, it's definitely Matthews from... I think it's probably Matthews from Marner and...
Riley? Might be Riley.
Let's ask Bonesy after.
Okay,
He's always hovering over our shoulder.
We'll get him in the break.
We'll ask him in the break. But yes, that was a interesting way to start the scoring for the Maple Leafs. But, a lot of credit goes to Connor Timmins, because he kind of fans on a shot and then dangles the opposing team and then carries the puck right to net and says, you know what, I'm just banking this thing in. Like, we talked about Connor Timmins in our pregame show. Ever since you had the discussion between him and Timothy Liljegren, I think I've just been paying more attention to the little parts of his game. And, this is a big part, getting the Maple Leafs on the score. But he had a really nice move and deserves a lot of credit, even though he did bank it off. I think it was Dvorak, his butt.
Dvorak's back.
It went in.
Yeah. I mean, Connor Timmins, Craig Berube gets hired and you think, well, that's not going to work. Connor Timmins is not going to work under Craig Berube. There's no chance. Yanni Hakaba waiting in the wings. But this is a talented offensive defenseman. He's a great skater. I think instinctually that's what's lacked. Like, I think everyone's been trying to put their finger on what has been holding Connor Timmins back. And I'm not sure... I've been asking myself that question as much. Certainly this season, he looks kind of the part as a third-pairing defenseman on this team. You can see what he can do, the puck skills, the skating skills, all in that one goal. It helped that Josh Anderson was so desperate to get up ice with the puck. He thought he had a breakaway for sure, but Timmins makes him look silly and puts a shot in a good spot, and it ends up in the back of the net. A good goal there from Connor Timmins. Great to get a fourth-line, third-pairing goal in the way the Maple Leafs did.
All right, second story of the game was going to be a positive one in Max Pacioretty. He was really physical. He was playing with a lot of pop. No pun intended. It looked like something popped there. He had to get help to the dressing room by Ryan Reeves and John Tavares after... We've watched the replay a few times now. We're trying to figure it out. But Justin has a very extensive background in medical...
I shouldn't play medical doctor here.
Okay, but tell me what you're saying. Justin's not a doctor, but...
Justin's not a doctor, but there was some contact from the back, and it's when, you're not expecting it. Muscles are not exactly contracted, bracing for a hit, and, if you take a hit off your lower or upper leg, your knee can get involved, and everything attaches through the knee, so that could be upper muscle, leg muscle, could be lower leg muscle, could be the ligaments holding your knee together. But when you're not expecting contact and you take contact, generally that's where the injury would be. He needed help getting off the ice, needed help getting down the tunnel to the room. Not particularly optimistic sign for Pacioretty, who was throwing his body around, has been so key to that second line, has been frankly great and more than you could ever ask for on a PTO, and a guy making the bare minimum. It'd be a tough break if Pacioretty's injury is a severe one.
Yeah, it really did not look positive. Him just getting off from the middle of the face-off dot to the bench looked really laboring, and then obviously there's only about 30 seconds left in the period, so he sat there for a bit, and then he had to get assistance from Reeves and Tavares to actually get to the dressing room. I assume it's going to be the last we see of him this game. But yeah, you're right. This has been a nice storyline. It was a question coming in, like, okay, what kind of impact is he going to bring? PTO / we already know you have a contract. But it's been a really nice story, and that chemistry that he's had with his line mates has been important. So might be time to see a little blender action for the second and third. And we'll take a break, and we'll think about Bonesy's goal calls and how we would rearrange the lineups if Max Pacioretty does not come back.
Okay, that's the
Sound
deal.
like a plan? All right, we'll be right back. You're listening to Most Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan, the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Get the official NHL app to watch, read, and listen to all the deeks.
All I can say is absolutely wow.
All the sauce. All the saves.
Stop from Vasilevsky.
All the hits. All the snipes. All the sellies.
He scores! Unbelievable!
All the hockey. If it's hockey, it's here. Listen to every NHL game for free, now with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Download the official NHL app now.
As fall approaches and birds head south, a different kind of bird emerges, the Subaru. While migratory flocks seek warmth, Subaru's symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive keeps drivers soaring through the wild. During the migrating season, Subaru's hunger for adventure grows exponentially, driving the intrigued radio listeners to fall for Subaru at their local Subaru dealerships, experiencing an adventure of their own. So migrate to your local Subaru dealership to book a test drive today.
Over to our sideline report the app and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 or older, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
Desjardins Insurance cares a lot about their clients. In fact, it's packed with such a ginormous amount of vast and substantial care that's bursting with even more whoppingly humongous and colossal care. You might be a little surprised when we tell you that all of that care fits in the palm of your hand. With the Desjardins Insurance mobile app, you'll get a big hand with 24/7 paper-free access to all of your home and auto policies, including your digital pink slip. Get insurance that's really big on care at Desjardins.com/care.
Getting my Honda CR-V has opened the door to adventure. With Econ Mode to maximize fuel efficiency, I'm free to explore. And with tons of cargo space, it's easy to pack for getaways. My dog, camping gear. It's like I've discovered a wild, adventurous side of me. Alice is excited too.
Lease the CR-V LX two-wheel drive for $99 weekly at 2.99% APR for 28 months with $2,000 down. Offer includes $1,500 lease bonus. OAC conditions apply. See HondaOntario.com.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Well, welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. English 4-bar Justin Cuthbert. Maple Leafs a 1-0 lead over the Montreal Canadiens after 20 minutes. We did get one piece of information from Joe Bowen, who said that he thinks the most common goal call was Matthews from Marner and Riley. So you were right.
You agree with me.
Yeah, well, you
it's
guys
very were validating.
Inspiring over there.
Very validating for Joe Bowen to agree with my gut instinct.
I bet you feel good about yourself. All right. Let's take a look at the NHL scoreboard presented by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Play responsibly. Visit ConnexOntario.ca.
It is a 12-game day in the NHL. We have two finals so far, with the Jets beating up on the Dallas Stars, staying real hot. 4-1 earlier, and the Flames lost in a shootout to the Sabres, who continue to roll a little bit in the Atlantic Division. In the third period right now, the Florida Panthers lead the Philadelphia Flyers. End of one, Rangers leading the Red Wings 1-0. Senators have a 1-0 lead over the Bruins, end of one. And it's 1-1 Capitals and Blues just starting the second period. Late first, Devils trailing the Islanders 1-0. Still to come tonight, the Predators will host Utah. The Kings will host the Blue Jackets. The Hurricanes will visit the Avalanche. And the second game on Hockey Night in Canada is the Oilers and the Canucks. That's a good one.
Great piece of information from Luke Fox and Armin through Luke Fox. There were exactly 0 high danger chances in that period. 0.
For combined?
Combined for both teams. 0.
Connor Timmins looked a little dangerous to me.
The stats say it was a 0 high danger chances.
Yeah, I can get behind that. I mean, it's not surprising given the output of the Montreal Canadiens, who have 2 shots on Joseph Woll. I mean, we talked about it for a while in the pregame. This team just got bag skated. It's on the heels of 5 straight losses, and yet there was almost nothing offensively from them. Really no pop in their game. Now, you got to give the Maple Leafs some credit for that, but I would expect some urgency here for Montreal, or what's going on there?
All right, what do we expect if Max Pacioretty does not come out for the second period? His line mates of John Tavares, William Nylander will play with who?
I'll say Bobby McMahon. I think that's the best option.
And I'll say Nick Robertson. Give the kid a chance. He has to, get that trade value up or get himself on the score sheet.
You've always been Team Robertson, Ailish.
I don't know. Not at the expense of Max Pacioretty, who looked very injured.
You were at the start of the year.
If you missed it, looks like Max Pacioretty got pretty banged up at the end of that period and is not most likely going to come out for the second. We'll let you know. Obviously, Bonesy and Jim will, but it did not look promising. So maybe an opportunity on the second line there on the winger spot. And Craig Berube might have to play a little bit of Sheldon Keefe blender to finish this game.
Yeah, they'll have to be relying on even fewer guys, honestly, because Pacioretty and that second line was a line that was the only one that was kind of unchanged since Austin Matthews went down. They're definitely leaning on him. Can't anymore.
All right, all good things must come to an end, just like our intermission show. So, Timmins from Benoit and Reeves. What could happen next? We'll send it to Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph on the other side of the break. We'll have the call of the second period next. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan, the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
The Detroit Lions look as if they are the best football team in the NFC.
When it happens in the NFL, we're reacting to it on SiriusXM NFL Radio.
Saints' Dennis Allen has been relieved of his head coaching duties.
The expectations of every year, that franchise has pride.
Get closer to the game with interviews with players, coaches, and executives.
Ravens running back Derrick Henry. You embrace every single challenge. One thing I love about this whole organization.
Nobody covers the game like SiriusXM NFL Radio, Channel 88.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
You either put up or shut up. Marchand does, Doughty does, Stone does. And if you don't have enough of those players, get rid of them, because they'll make you lose. They'll frustrate the fan base. I want people that are with me, rowing in the same direction. And if you can't, get out of town. We'll find someone who can.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
The National Women's Soccer League Championship game is coming to SiriusXM. Hey, it's World Cup winner Heather O'Reilly of SiriusXM FC. Join Jessica Charman and me for the first national radio broadcast of the NWSL Final. That's right, Heather. We'll be taking you through every thrilling moment live from Kansas City. Join us as we make history at the 2024 NWSL Final on Saturday, November 23rd at 8 Eastern. And it's on SiriusXM FC channel 157 and streaming on the SiriusXM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Ray Hudson here with an important announcement. You can listen to your favourite SiriusXM FC shows on the all-new SiriusXM app, now available for all subscribers.
Hockey lives here.
Suzuki sweeps it. There's a chance. Rebound, Caulfield shoots and scores.
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM Radio Network.
1-0 Toronto on the unlikely combination of Timmins from Benoit and Reeves. At 14:55 of the first period as the Leafs out in front. And they finally found a solution to Sam Montembeault, which is good. This is the fourth of 14 back-to-back sets of games the Leafs have in their schedule. As it's played into the Toronto zone, they defend the goal to the left as it comes back to the point on the near side. Matheson goes D to D, and a one-timer that was deflected wide of the goal and into the corner. Riley getting it elevated out into the center ice area, knocked down by Gooley, played back into the Toronto zone. Morgan Riley swinging it around on the far side. Puck is tipped to the line, but not out. Matheson trying to keep it in, but it's off the glove of Bobby McMahon. Canadiens keep it into the Toronto zone. Into the corner for Slafkovsky. Centering pass. Knocked away, and the Leafs are going to get it out into the center ice area. Matheson swung it right back. Slafkovsky sends it in deep. Hustling after Jake Evans around back of the net. Stepped into there by Tavares. And the Maple Leafs have airmailed it out and down the ice. And an icing call coming here against the Maple Leafs. 59 seconds played, and it appears that Max Pacioretty will not, in fact, be back. He looked like he had a hamstring injury of some sort, Jimmy.
And had to be helped off the ice into the dressing room as well at the end of the period. By the way, you know, I've so much respect for Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Seen him every game. I mean, It's so often that happens where the Leafs acquire a player that you might have seen 3 or 4 times a year, but to see him every night has been a treat.
Shot there and a swallowed up puck by Wall, who got the right pad down just in time as that snuck underneath it, and he was able to hold on. And
he was deep in the net on that as well.
He was looking. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people think, hey, he's only seen 3 shots on goal and it's the second period. It's got to be an easy night. You've got to really battle yourself mentally to stay sharp and stay involved in the game. And, especially when you've only got a 1-goal lead, despite how many shots you've had.
Draw one by Montreal. That a shot was blocked by Nyes. Cleared back on the right wing, and it is cleared in then by Lane Hudson. Down into the corner. Tanev got it around back of the net. Tries to play it up the middle, and he does, and now it's brought on by Nyes. Nyes working in on the left wing. Staying onside, just staying onside there was Marner. Puck down in the Canadian zone. Domi tangled up with his man and knocked him down, but couldn't get to the puck. And the Canadiens get it out into neutral ice. It'll be chipped into the bench by Montreal's David Savard. So a face-off is coming in the neutral zone as a result. Hey, tomorrow I get to go to the Toronto Expo Card Show at the International Center. I'm going to be there from about 11 to 1, signing some autographs. I have to try and figure out how I spell my last name again.
Yeah, I know people that are already lined up.
No, probably not for what I'm doing. Okay. What? We couldn't get free parking?
I always know that it's a legitimate Joe Bowen autograph when the name's spelled wrong.
That's right. And no two are the same. Down into the corner, it goes in the Leaf zone. Kicked around back of the net, comes up on the near wing, and Reeves overskated it. Now drops it back to his defense, and Timmins will go D to D to get Benoit the puck, and he gets it ahead for David Camp. Into the zone it goes, and Reeves going to be first there. Well, never mind. I guess they're calling this offside. The linesmen are anyway. Wow.
Yeah, Ryan Reeves might have been over the line just a bit. Didn't quite drag the left leg long enough.
Apparently.
We've certainly seen under a new coach a transformation, haven't we? What are you giggling about?
They showed this guy in the seats. He kind of looked up, saw himself on TV. Move on.
Usually the best part of that is the 2 seconds it takes for someone to recognize that that's them.
Well, this was a 10-second non-recognition, if it was.
Indifference?
Total. Absolute total. Face-off after an icing down in the Montreal zone coming here. Holmberg wins the draw. Played back to the point. Pass into the slot area. Off on the wing, Ekman-Larsson is able to play it in deep. Marner chipping it around the boards. Back to the point, Riley. Now to Nylander to Ekman-Larsson. And a shot is gloved eye high by Montembeault as Pontus Holmberg had driven into the goal crease area. And without Pacioretty, the lines are going to get mixed up just a little bit here.
I wonder if that's going to spell a little more ice time for Nick Robertson as well.
Tavares with Nylander and Bobby McMahon.
Well, there's the answer to your question.
There, yeah. Okay. And the draw scrummed, and the puck comes free, and the Canadiens are able to break it out. Slafkovsky, a bank pass in on the right side for Jake Evans. He goes wide, sent it through the goal crease, and it came into the near corner and around to the far side now played. And good play there by McMahon to free the puck up for Tavares. Tavares to the line is going hard to the net. It comes to Nylander, a shot. That was blocked. Tavares overskated it, and then so did Willie. And the Canadiens are fortunate there to get it out at center. Newhook gets it down into the near corner. Ekman-Larsson forces it into the far corner. Slafkovsky there for Montreal, dragging it back. It's going to be picked off, and now Tavares gets it out at center ice. Tanev Slowly to center now, just dumps it deep into Montreal territory. 1-0 Toronto. We're approaching 4 minutes played here in the second period. Office sticking into Toronto territory. Wall waits for it to get into the non-trapezoidal area, or the trapezoidal area, but now it's picked off by Cole Caulfield. Caulfield in the far corner, working it back to the blue line, and a long shot in traffic, didn't make it through. Once again, the Leafs doing a great job of blocking shots and clogging things up in the area in front of the net. Benoit and McCabe get the puck freed up for Marner, and off a skate it comes to center ice as McCabe couldn't handle that hard pass from Mitch Marner. Shot back into the Toronto zone. Benoit finds his defense partner. McCabe finds Nyes on the right wing. He's taken to the boards right at the Toronto blue line, and Benoit has to stretch things out for Toronto, and now the Leafs getting it ahead for Marner. Marner at center, shooting it in. Down the boards goes Domi on the far side, but he won't get there ahead of Matheson, who gets it up on the wing for the Canadiens and out at center ice. Broken up there. Domi back for Toronto. Left it for Marner. Marner circling back in his own zone, stretching things out, and Timmins will give it right back to him. Marner's been on for a long shift here. He'll get to center, flip it in, and head to the bench. Pontus Holmberg taken into the board's feet first, and a penalty coming. I think it's against Montreal. Yes, it is. Centering pass, and looking for Connor Timmins, who's got the hot hand, was going to the front of the net. And the first power play of the game will go to the Maple Leafs, who are red hot with the power play.
Montreal penalty number 21. 2 minutes for holding.
Gooley getting the holding call.
It would have been a marginal trip, but it happens right in front of the official. And yeah, the left arm clamps on to the right arm of Pontus Holmberg. They both get dragged to the ice. And 14:50 to go here in the second period. First power play of the night.
And in their last, 3 games, 6 of 11. Montreal won by the Leafs. A centering pass! Backhanded by Tavares and stopped. And then a pass by Marner goes too far and comes out at center ice. Wow.
That was Mitch Marner again. A little backhand pass heading from behind the net out onto the tape of John Tavares at the top of his crease.
Here's Nylander winding up at his own blue line. Works to the line and in. Now stick handles right in. A goal, and scores! Holy Mackinac! That was like watching the Red Sea part. The Canadiens kept waiting for a pass, and Willie said, "Nah, take it to the net."
It's as if 4 controllers disconnected at the exact same time. And Willie Nylander, I think, was in amazement himself. The more he kept it, his feet aren't even moving. He's just drifting over the line, looking up, waiting. And everybody wants to branch off to take the pass, but Nylander, by the time he finds himself to the hash marks, middle of the ice, he snaps it. Far side, glove side on Montembeault. Just over the left pad, under the catching hand, and the Leafs are up 2-0, and that stat continues to grow, now 7 for 12 in the last 3 post games for the Leafs. Even for them to move to 16th on the power play in the league after a couple of games show is rather impressive.
Nylander moves into a tie with Sam Reinhart and Nikita Kucherov with his 11th goal of the season. Centering pass blocked there, and a good save made by Wall in tight. And the Leafs are going to play it out, and Reeves barging down in there against the boards with Jackeye. Jackeye and Reeves battling a little bit. Nothing more develops, and it's back out at center ice.
They dropped the gloves and fought in the opener last season here in Toronto, early in the first period.
So the power play has heated up. But that was comical. I mean, no one's coming after me. Why is that? And just kept going. Puck down in the Toronto zone. Heineman goes into the corner with it. Cycles it back of the net for Joel Armia. He is tied up. Armia trying to get his stick free, but Ekman Larsson poked it up on the boards. Domi got run from behind by Heineman. A little bit nose first. Back to the point, Matheson. Over on the far side, Fanning on the shot. The rebound, poked to the line, but not out. It was a one-handed effort by Domi, and he had a chance to really control it, but didn't get it out. Now the Leafs do get it out. Marner gets it in across the line. A pass for Domi, now to Marner! And he dribbled it wide on the far side. Kept in at the blue line by the Leafs. Bouncing puck far side. Max has got to shoot that. And a hand pass has stopped play.
How many times have we said that this year? Max Domi still looking for his first goal and looking for his first point in 10 games.
Leafs 2, Canadiens no score. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Fall for Subaru by enjoying fall to the fullest. Think scarlet, burgundy, amber, crimson and copper, but never, never blue. Because with Subaru's symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive, fall is for thick, dark mud splats, terracotta mountain roads, radiant sunsets, kaleidoscopic leaf carpets.
What's up, hockey fans? Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. It's Saturday night, hockey night in Canada. There's nothing better than Saturday night with the Leafs. And guess what? It's Montreal too. That's always the best. Toronto, Montreal. Thank you all for being here. Now's the time to let us know where you're watching from. Put it out in the chat. What country you're watching from. Put your flag emoji out there. Let us know in Canada, your city and province. How many people do we have throughout this great land of Canada tonight on Hockey Night in Canada, as well as the rest of the world? Let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go. We'll see you back in the chat.
In the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Holy mackerel, what a move!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph. Arwen Zagarian producing. Andrew Adams pushing buttons. And Andrew Holland, we're not really sure what he does. He just seems to show up. Apparently gets paid. Cleans up afterwards. Tidies up. Puts stuff away.
It's with the right people.
Oh. Okay.
That thing.
Yes. Canadiens in across the line. Right wing side. 2-on-1 down low. Unable to get a pass off his skate was Nick Suzuki. And it is cleared out and down into the Montreal zone and an icing call against Toronto. 11-4. The shots on goal favoring Toronto.
By the way, Morgan
Another
Riley.
low chance game.
And Morgan Riley with the assist show is the third defenseman in Toronto Maple Leaf history to hit the 400 mark. Morgan Riley's on a pretty good roll, 10 points now in his last 9 games.
So Nyes and Riley draw the assists on the Nylander tally, his 11th, and now we get a penalty from behind the play.
Interference is the call, and is it Willie Nylander's circling the penalty box?
No, it's going to be Jake McCabe. Okay. So the Leafs go to the penalty kill, which is brought to you by your Ontario Honda dealer. Up your game, lease the CRV from 2.99% up to 28 months. Visit HondaOntario.com. Second period is being brought to you by Desjardins Insurance. Get insurance just really big on care.
Cole Caulfield, give him credit. He sells it. I mean, this is just a collision between players. Caulfield missed the one-timer. And then McCabe went down, and that was enough to even things up in the power play.
Marner sifting in on the right side, trying to slide it in on goal. Tried to sell that he was going to go around the net. Things really opened up as Mitch Marner came roaring down that right wing along with David Camp. And Caulfield got turned around, and so did Matheson.
You can see, though, where defensively the Canadiens still have to fill some holes, don't you? Coming into the league, goals against over 4 as a team, which is worse than the National Hockey League.
Canadians are 12th in the power play, 10 of 48. That was the 10th power play goal for Toronto, who were mired in 32nd spot. They climbed to 16th. Didn't take long. It's still fairly early in the season.
Like the Beatles.
Yes.
Climbing the charts.
The old adage that figures don't lie, but liars can figure. Oh, go figure. Now a turnover, and Marner skating through neutral ice and into the zone, looking for a man in front of the goal. He got him, and centering pass, they score! Marner set up by David Kemp. The first shorty of the year.
And right when you're about to say David Kemp has got to shoot that puck, you say, what a great pass by David Kemp to find Mitch Marner wide open. And a question from a Montreal standpoint, Joe, how is Mitch Marner wide open?
Well,
Nick Suzuki.
2 shifts.
Yeah.
2 rushes, they were wide open.
Nick Suzuki only half takes Marner. I think he's anticipating that Kemp has got to shoot it from the right wing side. Kemp pulls up, waits. Marner gets into position, and Kemp gives it to him at the top of the crease, and he slides it into the empty side, and the Leafs lead has grown to 3-0 here in the second.
4th goal of the season for Marner. First shorthanded goal of the year for the team. And it's down and around the boards in the Toronto zone. Gallagher gets it into the slot. Almost stolen there by Pontus Holmberg. Canadians maintain possession to Hudson. Hudson passes down low. Got it returned. Top of the circle, left wing side. Hudson now into the slot area. And a shot and a great glove save made by Joseph Wall. Best save he's had to make.
10:54 to go here in the second period. That is shot number 5.
Newhook. But Marty St-Louis had enough of the number 1 power play unit.
Yeah.
Gave up the shorthanded goal.
Newhook has 4 goals on the season. He scored 2 of them in Montreal's last game.
Now a shot from in the slot area was knocked wide of the Leaf goal. Centering pass. Played around into the far corner. Heineman gets there for the Canadians. Down in along the boards and back of the net. 3-0 Toronto. Back to the point. Heineman with a one-timer that's blocked. The rebound out of midair. Slashed into the Leaf goal by Brendan Gallagher.
Chris Tanev right with Gallagher, but Gallagher, the hand-eye coordination. Rebound comes up off of Joseph Wall. And Gallagher, where he's made a career at the top of the crease. And I mean, this, you've got to give him a lot of credit. Out battles Chris Tanev, get a stick free, battles about a waist-high rebound. Inside the post, just past Joseph Wall. And for Brendan Gallagher, that's his 7th goal of the season. He had 16 last year, 8 the year before, and 7 the year before that. So he has found his scoring touch.
Yep. So it is a saw-off on the power play as the Leafs score shorthanded, and the Canadians get the power play goal as a pass for David Kemp didn't connect, and the Leafs have to go back to center ice to come up with the loose puck.
The shorthanded goal, by the way, is now an 8-game point streak for Mitch Marner.
Chipped in along the boards. Heineman got it around on the near wing. The pass up for Evans. Evans comes through center ice and down the left wing boards. Evans trying to drive the net. Poked off his stick there by Ekman Larsson. His pass was intercepted. Canadians keeping it alive as it goes back to the point. A long shot. And Wall had to be quick with that left pad to get that out and make the save. Nylander trying to get it out. Getting some assistance from Lorenz. Lorenz battles hard, and he gets the puck down into the Montreal zone. Played back at center ice. And to the line. The Leafs are able to bring it forward, and now brought in. Nylander sending it down into the Montreal zone. Confirmation from the Leafs PR staff. Centering pass, Nylander! A backhand that does stop there by Montembeault. Pacioretty will not return, and we pretty much knew that when he left, didn't we?
Yeah, I think Montembeault got that off the shaft of his stick, didn't he?
I think so. Now here's Caulfield working to the right wing side, and a shot goes off a stick and wide of the Leaf goal. Near side for Jack-Eye. Jack-Eye in the corner, got a shot away off a pass in front, and it was knocked away in the Maple Leafs now with Tanev finding Jake McCabe. McCabe up ahead, chipped by Tavares through neutral ice, but gobbled up there and brought back down on the left wing side as it's cleared into the Toronto end. Canadiens going back after it. Leafs, Nyes pushes it to the blue line. Struble was able to keep it in from the Canadiens. And then out at center ice, Nyes is tripped up by Armia, and a penalty is coming here. So after nothing in the first period from the officials, we've had 3 power play opportunities here as the Leafs will go to their second of the game. It is a 3-1 Toronto lead. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
The National Women's Soccer League Championship game is coming to SiriusXM. Hey, it's World Cup winner Heather O'Reilly of SiriusXM FC. Join Jessica Charman and me for the first national.
Yeah, that's right. It's Hockey Night in Canada, everybody. The best theme song. Just gets me in a good mood because it's Saturday night. Thank you so much for being here, hanging out with us, the Leafs, the Canadiens, Toronto, Montreal. It doesn't get any bigger. Thank you all for being here. Please hit that like button and share this thing out so we can find more hockey fans, preferably Leafs fans, but Habs fans, it's fun too because a little bit of trash talk is always enjoyable here on TSI when we're hanging out together, keeping it classy. Now let's get back to the hockey. Thank you for liking. Let's hit, I don't know, let's go for 1,500 tonight. That sounds good. Maybe 2,000. We've been rolling. Thank you so much for hitting that like and sharing this link out. We'll see you guys back in the chat. Go Leafs, go. Let's tear up Montreal and get it done. Hockey Night in Canada. Let's go.
NHL Morning Skate.
Michael Bunting of the Pittsburgh Penguins. You've always had the great ability to play with great players.
I think my style of play complements the top dogs, as you will, like kind of go to those harder areas in the corner in front of the net and kind of create space for them and get them the puck and, you know, help them create offense off of that. So kind of found a little niche with that.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellar. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. And the Leafs Radio Network.
Leafs to the power play, and I'm sure the Canadiens have had a discussion that we should maybe give a little more attention to Willie Nylander when he's cruising through the defensive zone here, but we'll see what happens. Face off to the right of Montembeault. Tavares lost the draw. Poked around back of the net for Suzuki, banked out into the center ice area and brought into the Leafs zone by Evans. Evans against the boards, knocked down by a Tavares hit, and Tavares pokes it ahead, and Marner comes through neutral ice. In across the line, stops up, feeds it off to Tavares on the right wing, who drops it back for Nylander. Down the right wing boards, Nylander now circles around back of the goal. Far corner, back to the point to Marner. Marner works to the left wing side, still with it. Marner, a pass into the slot. Tavares, a shot right on. Rebound. Scores! Johnny Toronto! Don't give him 2 whacks at it.
As simple as it sounds, Craig Berube has been saying for weeks, we've got to get more pucks to the net. And here, John Tavares turns, fires it from the high slot. Rebound off the right pad of Montembeault, right back onto the stick of Tavares. And the second time, he gets more on it the second time. The first one was partially blocked. When he let it go, Jake Evans got just a piece of the Tavares try. And the change in velocity seemed to fool Montembeault a bit, and he just kicked his right pad, kicked the puck right back out onto the stick of Tavares again. And Tavares has restored the Leafs' 3-goal lead. At least we've seen one 5-on-5 goal tonight.
No, exactly. 8th of the year for John Tavares. Puck at the Toronto blue line, and Lorenz just plays it gingerly off the boards into Montreal territory. Reeves couldn't get to it. Puck up on the left wing is into the Toronto zone. Stolen back then by David Camp. Camp around the boards on the far side. Lorenz gets it to the line. Reeves didn't get it out, and a long shot is steered wide of the net by Wall. Puck in the far corner. Montreal trying to press here with 6:50 to play in the period, and all of the scoring here in the second frame has the Maple Leafs up by 3, 4-1. Puck is still frozen on the boards. Now it does come back to the point. Gooley to the left wing side. Hudson got a pass back to Gooley, a shot. That was deflected wide. Leafs get it to the line, but not out. Lorenz unable to come up with it. Heineman down into the corner. Down goes one of the Canadiens without a stick. The puck along the boards, grabbed off by Toronto, and it is Timmins airmailing it high down into Montreal territory to allow a change of players. Canadiens an errant pass, icing going to be called against the Canadiens, and back into the Montreal zone it comes.
And now comes the test with the Leafs with a 3-goal lead. You got enough at this point to win the game, but you don't want to get caught back in your heels and allow Montreal too much pressure or offensive zone time to get back into it. And even the Red Wing game last night, Joe, you never felt, as close as the game was in the third period, that the Leafs were in any trouble. Yeah,
I agree.
I think we said 8 minutes to go in the third. The Leafs were out shooting the Red Wings 2-1.
Against the boards on the far side, the Canadiens push it out at center. Riley steals it back, then almost lost it, but getting some assistance there from Ekman Larsson. And apparently the assistance brought about a penalty. Is it a high stick? Looking at some damage here, possibly.
I mean,
nope, it's a tripping call.
Now what is it? A suspension?
I don't know, but there's a lot of finger pointing going on here, and Ekman Larsson is wondering what's gone on. Well, we'll sort it out. Tripping call to Ekman Larsson.
It's skate on skate when he's picking up the loose puck, but that's the call.
You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Getting my Honda CR-V has opened the door to adventure. With Econ Mode to maximize fuel efficiency, I'm free to explore. And with tons of cargo space, it's easy to pack for getaways. My dog, camping gear. It's like I've discovered a wild, adventurous side of me. Alice is excited too.
Lease the CR-V LX 2-wheel drive for $99 weekly at 2.99% APR for 28 months with $2,000 down. Offer includes $1,500.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. The one that's hanging out with us on Hockey Night in Canada, listening to the Leafs and the Habs. Thanks for being here. Why haven't you subscribed yet? We are growing the biggest community of Toronto sports fans on the internet and having fun every single Maple Leafs game. Please hit that subscribe button and help our amazing community on our way to 75,000 subscribers/insiders. Thank you to all of you who have already subscribed. It's a dream come true. Now let's get back to having fun with the hockey game and chatting it up. We'll see you guys back in there. Go Leafs, go! Thank you for hitting that subscribe button. Let's go.
Sure. 365. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey. You know that's game on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
The penalty kill, is brought to you by your Ontario Honda dealer. Up your game, lease the CR-V from 2.99% up to 28 months. Visit HondaOntario.com. Leafs win the draw. Jake McCabe will play it off the boards. Down the ice it'll go. Ekman Larson gets the penalty for tripping. Hudson dropping it back. Suzuki coming through neutral ice to the Leaf blue line. Works in on the left wing and then swept around the boards to the far side. It's trapped there, and a penalty coming here to Montreal for interference on Mitch Marner. So that ends the power play.
I don't like this one either. I mean, this is, again, two guys sort of battling for puck space. Marner went down rather easily. I think even Craig Berube's on the bench going, they didn't call it like this when I played.
No.
I mean, this is just shoulder to shoulder, and Marner falls. They both fall.
And the penalty is going to Heineman.
Even Marty St. Louis. I mean, great camera work when we're getting the replays up here in the booth. Both coaches are going,
puzzled by, this has been TJ Luxmore's doing. He called both of these. So we'll little 4-on-4 hockey. Canadiens, rink wide pass, brought in over the line by Caulfield. Caulfield works into the corner, sends it around to the far side, trapped there by Gooley. He'll get it back to the blue line, but then the Canadiens decide to bring it out into neutral ice. Mike Matheson over on the right wing side. Gooley is taken to the boards. The Leafs punch it out, and Tavares is one-on-one. Tavares in over the line, mishandled the puck, then is able to come away with it. No one there to support. He's looking for Nylander, finds him. Nylander back to Tavares, gets it back, trying to get it back to the point to Timmins. But it was intercepted, and Caulfield will send it off the stick of Gooley down into the Toronto zone. Timmins works around back of the net. Stops up. Canadiens are changing. Leafs are trying to do likewise. Pass finds Morgan Riley, but it went off the skate and harmlessly down into Montreal territory. Canadiens bringing it back. Hudson in across and dropping it back. Brought in on the right side by by Evans. Evans gets it back along the boards. It's intercepted by Timmins. And now Marner trying to dive to get it ahead to Domi. Just failed to do so. Lane Hudson back the other way for Canadiens and across the line. Hudson into the slot. Mishandles the puck, but then regains it into the corner. The penalty to Ekman Larson is over. Leafs power play statistics aren't going to be benefited by this. 20 seconds to go in it. Pass comes ahead to Domi. Maybe I spoke too soon. Domi dropping for Marner. Marner to the line and into the slot. Marner doesn't shoot it and could have. He works back to the point. Looks for a man in front. Pass to the right wing side. A shot swallowed up off the stick of Nylander by Montembeault. The Leafs get a good chance on the power play that has just 4 seconds left in it.
Boy, Mitch Marner's just heating up, isn't he? As we mentioned, the point streak now has already gone to 8. 8 games for Marner. 2 points tonight. First shorthanded goal of the season, and then the assist in the John Tavares power play goal. But even on this last play, Marner holding onto the puck, waiting until he finally finds Nylander in the far circle.
Played out and down the ice. Leafs with it. Penalty is expired. 3:12 to go in the period. Pass off Bobby McMahon's skate. Comes into the slot. And Tavares couldn't come up with it. And Slafkovsky will play it off on the wing and is shot into the Toronto zone. Played along the boards. Benoit couldn't come up with it. It rolls towards the net. And Wall decides he'd better cover up on that. Armia and Ekman Larson having a bit of a laugh at one on other's expense. Face-off coming in the Toronto zone to the left. Leafs next action. The Ottawa Senators are here on Tuesday night. We'll have that action for you beginning at 7 o'clock.
I mean, so far so good, but I mean the divisional games, the Leafs, even the win over the Tampa Bay Lightning earlier in the year, are rather important. It's only the loss to Montreal that sticks out right now.
The Bruins leading Ottawa 2-1. The first match between Ullmark and Swayman, goaltending tandem formerly of the Bruins.
So they hug it out after this one tonight?
God, I hope so. Okay, down into the corner, now up on the right wing side. It's out at center ice. I had enough of that already. Thanks very much. Here's Nyes with a shot, and it ramps off a stick and has gone up into the screen out of play.
I didn't notice after the Leaf game in Boston. Does Swayman do it with Corpusalo now? Will Allmark do it?
I didn't notice either.
Harmon?
Can you
look
go to
that
the
up?
vault? Go to the vault, get out the game film, take a look and see if there was a hug-a-thon after the game, please.
As soon as I said Harmon, he shook his head like, I don't know, and I'm not looking it up.
I'm not looking it up. Leafs win the draw. Play it down into the corner around back of the net. Gooley for the Canadiens. Back behind the net. Jacky played it up on the wing. Domi getting it back, and it goes around back of the Canadiens' goal and up on the right side, and a long lead pass is too far for its intended receiver, Josh Anderson. But now a long shot from the point by Jacky is handled quite easily by Joseph Woll, who has been steady and efficient.
Yeah. Made a big save earlier in the second period. That now has the shots on goal favoring the Leafs 10-9 here in the second period, so 17-11 overall. Woll only facing 2 shots the opening 20 minutes. And a flood of penalties has led to 4 of the 5 goals being scored here in the second period.
Played off the glass, and did I see that right? Did he bunt that ahead with his head?
Yeah.
He did, didn't he? Marner. He did. Now the Leafs with the puck back of the net. Marner with it on the right wing side. Down low, too far and too hard for Domi to handle. McCabe is able to keep it alive. Domi bodies his man there. Savard backed into him, and then that battle continues in the far corner. Domi getting roughhoused a little bit. Puck comes free. Gloves come off. Domi and who is this? Domi and Savard. David Savard, and then Anderson decides he's going to grab Domi from behind. And now we've got a bunch of people paired off. Nyes is with one of the Canadiens in the corner. Anderson and McCabe are...
I'm not sure what had happened in the far corner between Domi and Savard, but Max Domi was the instigator on this, or at least the retaliator, before everybody jumped in. But yeah, I mean, it's not a fight, so it's not going to be third man in for Josh Anderson. I mean, just, a couple of shoves from behind. Well, you know what? There are about 3 rights that Savard kind of rabbit punches Max Domi. Max takes exception. And if Savard did, in fact, want to engage in some fisticuffs, the linesmen were in before that could happen. Domi goes to the Leaf dressing room, and Savard on his way to the Montreal Canadiens dressing room with just 1:24 to go.
So it appears that this will be coincident penalties.
Although there is a conversation with Josh Anderson, and now a meeting with John Tavares and some of the Montreal players. Is Anderson going to the Montreal bench or dressing room?
First bit of...
Is it just me, or has there been a lot of confusion this year about calls? Who's got the penalty? Remember Oliver Ekman-Larsson in Minnesota, they had to pull him off the bench.
58. Toronto penalty number 11. Both players had 2 minutes for roughing. Teams will play 4-on-4.
Well, that was succinct and to the point, wasn't it? How could you have messed that up, Mr. Ralph?
I have no idea why the discussions going on.
A few extra things in there.
But I mean, it has been incredible. Even the last game, last night, they had Nick Robertson went to the penalty box, and then the referees talk about it, and then it was Bobby McMahon, so they have to switch them up. That usually means it's not the most obvious of calls.
Yes.
When you put the wrong guy in the box and realize he wasn't the one that did anything.
Well, Willie Nylander has a 2-point game going. So does Mitch Marner, a goal and an assist each. And they'll play 4-on-4. Matheson brings it into the Toronto zone. Chased by Nylander. It goes off on the right wing side. Marner mirroring him. Now the Canadiens work it back to the left wing side. Dropping off with it now is Hudson. Hudson is broken up, and it is cleared around back of the net. And Jake McCabe has it there. And he's going to stick handle his way up the left wing boards and carry it through center and finds Nylander. Nylander had it knocked off his stick. Chris Tanev is backing up the rush. He's going to take it back into the Toronto end. 43 seconds left in the second period. It's been a good one for the Maple Leafs, who have outscored the Canadiens here by a 3-1 count. And they lead 4-1. Here's Nylander into the zone. Circles back towards the blue line, maintains possession, still with it, leaves for Marner. Now toe drag move there, cross-ice pass! And the one-timer by Ekman-Larsson hit the side of the goal. He had room on the short side if he hit the net. Back to the point it goes, Tavares. Circling back, still with it as he is in the offensive zone. Tavares on his backhand! Got to the forehand and had to go off the shoulder. Centering pass, another shot. Montembeault the save. Tavares another shot. Montembeault the save, and the horn ends the flurry.
Maybe to try to get back into it, the Canadiens would have been favored with a 4-on-4 to open things up a bit, but it was the Leafs with a flurry in the last 15 to 20 seconds that almost extended their lead to 5-1. But Montembeault coming up with 3 or 4 really good saves in tight off John Tavares.
Timmins, Nylander, Marner, and Tavares have scored for the Maple Leafs. Gallagher from Montreal. The Leafs have scored even strength, power play, and shorthanded, and they lead it 4-1. Ailish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert coming your way. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Every fantasy football champion makes one defining move.
Brock Bowers is going to be the #1 receiver for the Las Vegas Raiders, and if you have him, congratulations.
Touchdown Raiders! Fantasy Sports Radio can help you make that move.
It's really important.
Thank you, Leafs fans. Thank you, insiders. Thank you all for hanging out with us and making this the best place to hang out and watch Toronto sports together as a fan club and group of people who are making a real-world difference in the world. Wow, what a job by all of the SickKids creators during the Create 100K campaign, and thank you all for your contributions just by being here, just by clicking our video and hanging out with us, hitting that like button. You're making a difference in donations to SickKids Hospital. We were able to contribute over $3,000 to SickKids in this last run in the Create 100K, taking that total to record-breaking numbers. So a big shout out to all the creators who have been raising money for SickKids, and a huge shout out and thank you to all of you for your contributions. Thank you guys. We'll see you back in the chat. Go Leafs, go.
Reward your guys who had a good game with a chance to get some more goals and points. Do it. If I was a coach, I wouldn't care. Who cares? Worry about your own team. Don't worry about mine.
SiriusXM, NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91. And on your schedule with the SiriusXM app. NHL Morning Skate.
Michael Bunting of the Pittsburgh Penguins. You've always had the great ability to play with great players.
I think my style of play complements the top dogs, as you will, like kind of go to those harder areas in the corner in front of the net and kind of create space for them and get them the puck and, you know, help them create offense off of that. So kind of found a little niche with that.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellar. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
The big names are on NHL Network Radio.
The head coach of the Carolina Hurricanes, Rod Brindamore.
Kochetkov making that jump last year. What do you see in the net?
The kid wants it. That's the first thing. Is he going to be the guy that we're looking at this year to get after it and take a bigger role? Maybe. You know, but we still got Freddie in here. I think he's got something to prove. So I think we're going to have a good battle in the net.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. From in the crease to in the locker room,
Flyers defenseman Travis Sanheim.
Is it a rebuild type thing? Is it definitely a playoff team in your mind?
I think last season, I don't know if anyone in our room was saying rebuild. We thought that we could surprise some teams, and I think we did that. A lot of guys that are coming back, and then obviously adding meat stuff is going to be huge. So, we're looking forward to getting started and seeing if we can build off of last season.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and on your schedule with the SiriusXM app.
The National Women's Soccer League Championship game is coming to SiriusXM. Hey, it's World Cup winner Heather O'Reilly of SiriusXM FC. Join Jessica Charman and me for the first national radio broadcast of the NWSL final. That's right, Heather. We'll be taking you through every thrilling moment live from Kansas City. Join us as we make history at the 2024 NWSL final on Saturday, November 23rd at 8 Eastern. And it's on SiriusXM FC channel 157 and streaming on the SiriusXM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
Leafs Radio Network.
Marner, a pass into the slot. Tavares, a shot right on rebound. Scores! Johnny Toronto! Don't give him two whacks at it.
Welcome to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, the fan of the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Eilish Fortbar and Justin Cuthbert, your Maple Leafs lead 4-1 after what was a much more exciting second period full of special teams goals on both ends of the spectrum. And we've got lots to talk about.
Yeah, we do have a lot to talk about. You're right, though. That was a far more exciting period than the first. It was low event in the opening 20. That one opened up a little bit more.
High event.
I think mostly for the better and for good. If you're Craig Berube and you're looking at the balance of this game, they gave up a power play goal. It was somewhat fluky, but the Maple Leafs dominated the special teams on both sides of the equation for the most part in that second period.
Okay, couple fun stats to throw your way. Leafs power play now up to 22%.
That's ridiculous.
On the season. Last week.
We needed a summit a week ago.
Last week it was at 8%. They now have the 12th best power play in the NHL. And since November 1st, no team in the NHL has more power play goals than the Toronto Maple Leafs. So
nothing like live power play team data.
That is hot power play talk. It's crazy. So let's go through some of them. William Nylander got the first one of that period, and it was gorgeous. It was Willie being Willie, taking his time and creativity to go through everybody on the Montreal Canadiens roster, basically danced his way right into the zone and put it past Montembeault like it was nothing. He's got such good poise and creativity, and I'll say it, the Montreal Canadiens looked really brutal that period. At one point I jokingly said to Justin, we were in a charity tournament yesterday and it looked like our team was out there. We were just, looking the wrong direction, pucks going through your legs,
And the important context there is that we were overmatched in yesterday's tournament.
We played like a professional hockey team at one point.
That the Montreal Canadiens seemed in that period. Tell me how the Maple Leafs had trouble entering the zone on the power plays with zone entries when you got William Nylander,
in there,
who basically just cruised in and decided once he was given a free lane to the net, I'll just take it right to the net and score the goal. Yeah, that might have been more about Montreal than it was about Toronto and Toronto's power play, at least that one. But yeah, when you can enter the zone when you're William Nylander, you command some respect and you get people second-guessing what they're doing from a coverage standpoint, and it just allowed a free lane to the net and a nice finish.
And with that, Morgan Rielly also got 400 career assists, the third defenseman in Maple Leafs history to create that many 400 career assists. That's 10 points in the last nine games for Morgan Rielly. Then, let's go to the next goal. Marner to Kampf, to Marner to Kampf, to Marner to Kampf in the net. It was actually almost too much, but it ended up being beautiful.
Only slightly exaggerated. Yeah, great play by the special teams duo.
On the penalty kill.
2-on-1. Yeah, it seemed like David Kampf might have missed the opportunity to shoot the puck, but credit to Mitch Marner, who on almost a broken play just decided to do the thing that stars do as penalty killers, not regular grinding penalty killers. He made himself available for that late or that last second pass from Kampf, who, to his credit, held on long enough to create that opportunity for Marner to slide it in. I thought that was a really nice play for Marner, who had an excellent period.
Yeah, that you called it right away when we were watching it. Very easy to curl into
get back
the corner
as fast as you can.
Yeah, like you're on the penalty kill. Why would you want to be 2 men below the crease? But he's got the goal scorer's mindset that I'm going to curl right to the crease and put this in. So thought it was great. He's now on an 8-game point streak as well. Gallagher gets one for the Montreal Canadiens, and he kind of batted it out of the air. And I said to Justin, well, Jays should sign him for free agency. I just wanted to make sure I said that joke on the radio, too.
It landed twice.
They need a power lefty bat, and they got one. Anyway,
yeah, it was kind of fluky. It was a nice play by Gallagher. I think you let that one slide.
Well, I mean, like he batted it out of the air. What's Wall going to do? And then finally, the last power play goal of the game so far, John Tavares on what was just a lot of persistence from the former captain, gets a shot, gets his own rebound, and puts it past Montembeault. And he's looked really great this game. I think you mentioned it too a few times with me while we were watching, but he's just got a little pep in his step.
Tavares is dogging tonight. It's like there's a bit of a magnetic pull towards the front of the net.
There is a magnet there.
Because he's just driving the puck there, and he's just using that force, the body, forces beyond what he can produce through his own body and musculature. He's dialed right now.
What was that word?
Musculature. He's dialed at the moment. He's just playing great hockey. You're looking it up, but it's a real word, so you can fact check it.
It is.
He looks great. Tavares looks like he's got the jump, and he looks like just a threat every time he's in the offensive zone. And the second chance opportunity maybe is another product of Montreal having a bit of a bad period. But Tavares doing the easy thing, putting pucks on net, grabbing his own rebounds. No one can really handle him down there, and he's proven it right now.
All right. A fun period, a 4-1 lead going into the third. We'll take a quick break. We'll take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard, including Ovi's chase for Gretzky, who keeps getting better. I think he's got 2 already this game. We'll be right back. You listen to Most Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan, the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
NHLshop.ca, the official online store of the National Hockey League. And Canada's largest selection of officially licensed NHL fan gear. With unique one-of-a-kind designs by Fanatics. And all the latest styles for every NHL team. Don't miss out. Shop now and get today's special offer. NHLshop.ca, a Fanatics experience.
Desjardins Insurance cares a lot about their clients. In fact, it's packed with such a ginormous amount of vast and substantial care that's bursting with even more whoppingly humongous and colossal care. You might be a little surprised when we tell you that all of that care fits in the palm of your hand. With the Desjardins Insurance mobile app, you'll get a big hand with 24/7 paper-free access to all of your home and auto policies, including your digital pink slip. Get insurance that's really big on care at Desjardins.com/care.
Getting my Honda CR-V has opened the door to adventure. With Econ Mode to maximize fuel efficiency, I'm free to explore. And with tons of cargo space, it's easy to pack for getaways. My dog, camping gear. It's like I've discovered a wild, adventurous side of me. Alice is excited too.
Lease the CR-V LX two-wheel drive for $99 weekly at 2.99% APR for 28 months with $2,000 down. Offer includes $1,500 lease bonus. OAC conditions apply. See HondaOntario.com.
Heard of Uline? You know, the have-it-all in-stock, ready-to-deliver shipping and industrial supply specialists. The company that does things for you that are unheard of, like keeping 41,000 items in stock in our own warehouses. With customer service reps on the line to get you what you need when you need it 24/7, 365 every time. Maybe you heard it here first. Want to hear more? Visit uline.ca. ULINE, your shipping and industrial supply specialists.
As fall approaches and birds head south, a different kind of bird emerges, the Subaru. While migratory flocks seek warmth, Subaru's symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive keeps drivers soaring through the wild. During the migrating season, Subaru's hunger for adventure grows exponentially, driving the intrigued radio listeners to fall for Subaru at their local Subaru dealerships, experiencing an adventure of their own. So migrate to your local Subaru dealership to book a test drive today.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Y'all ready?
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Welcome back to Most Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Ailish Forfar, Justin Cuthbert, intermissions. Leafs lead 4-1 after 40 minutes over the Montreal Canadiens here. Hockey night again. I will say, I thought it was a loud pop for the Montreal Canadiens goal.
There was a pop.
Whoa.
It was a pretty good pop. There are a lot of Montreal Canadiens fans here, and they definitely enjoyed the Brendan Gallagher goal.
They liked it.
But they've been mostly forced to remain in their seats through the balance of the game. We should have mentioned on the power play it improved to 5 for the last 5, briefly there for a moment. And then they got like the remnants of a power play after there was a makeup call. So they're not officially perfect on the night. They're 2 for 3, but they were at one point 5 for 5, which is a great run for the Leafs power play.
All right, let's take a look at the NHL scoreboard presented by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Play responsibly. Visit ConnexOntario.ca.
Okay, 3 games have concluded. The Panthers beat the Flyers 4-3 in a shootout. Also in a shootout, the Sabres beat the Flames 3-2, and the Jets improved to 14-1 with a 4-1 victory over the Dallas Stars. The Rangers lead the Red Wings 3-0. It's 2-2 Senators and Bruins in the third period. Alex Ovechkin has scored twice to continue his chase. Capitals lead the Blues 5-1. It's 1-1 Devils and Islanders, 2-0 the Predators lead Utah. Just getting underway, Blue Jackets and Kings are scoreless. And still to come tonight, Hurricanes, Avalanche, Oilers, Canucks.
Elliot Friedman revealing on the intermission panel of Hockey Night in Canada that the full Four Nations face-off rosters will be revealed to all on December 4th.
There you go. Set your watch to it. We're under about 4 weeks away.
That's good math. We should do a prediction.
Like all 4 rosters right now?
Yeah, and see who's got the most right. Shake on it?
Okay.
We shook on it.
All right. That's...
Loser buys lunch.
Sure.
All right, love it. 20 minutes left here. Leafs leading 4-1. It's been got a little chippy at that end of that period. Max Domi wanted to fight Savard, and he wanted nothing to do with it. So I wonder if they come out and it's a little physical.
Yeah, I was wondering if Domi got like an extra 10 there, but he did not.
No.
He avoided that, so maybe they can reconvene in the third period, or we'll still wait on Ryan Reeves and Arbor Jack.
Yeah, we'll be waiting on that one. All right, Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph will have the call the third period next. It's 4-1 Maple Leafs over the Montreal Canadiens. You're listening to Most Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, the Fan of the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
This fall so far on The Howard Stern Show.
Chris Stapleton. Hello, everybody. Charlie XCX.
You are brats.
People are going wild.
Plus Aubrey Plaza, Colin Jost and Michael Che, and Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band. And coming soon, Howard's very first interview with Cher. This fall on The Howard Stern Show. Exclusively on Sirius XM.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
You either put up or shut up. Marchand does, Doughty does, Stone does. And if you don't have enough of those players, get rid of them, because they'll make you lose. They'll frustrate the fan base. I want people that are with me, rowing in the same direction. And if you can't, get out of town. We'll find someone who can.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app.
The National Women's Soccer League Championship game is coming to SiriusXM. Hey, it's World Cup winner Heather O'Reilly of SiriusXM FC. Join Jessica Charman and me for the first national radio broadcast of the NWSL Final. That's right, Heather. We'll be taking you through every thrilling moment live from Kansas City. Join us as we make history at the 2024 NWSL Final on Saturday, November 23rd at 8 Eastern. And it's on SiriusXM FC channel 157 and streaming on the SiriusXM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL Play-by-Play on Sirius XM.
Join me, Scott Laughlin, and Gord Stellick, along with former NHLer Mike Johnson for NHL Morning Skate, weekday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back, stick handles to the backhand, moves in front, score!
NHL Play-by-Play on Sirius XM.
and the Leafs Radio Network.
Maple Leafs lead 4-1 heading to the third period. Third consecutive game that they've scored multiple power play goals. The first time that's happened since 2021. Apparently.
There's also Leafs have scored power play goals for the 5th straight regular season game without Austin Matthews in the lineup.
Oh?
Just some bizarre little stats.
That is bizarre,
yeah.
But okay. At any rate, Leafs to the right and the Canadiens to the left. We start the period 4-on-4 with Domi and Savard in the penalty box. Leafs moving right to left, and Marner weaves in on the right side. Got a shot away that Montembeault takes on the chest and stops play by smothering. And a face-off coming in the Montreal zone. Carey Price is still on the roster list. It's going to be for a little while yet, I guess. It's a long-term
the contract's in there. Shea Weber's contract ended up being moved around. But it goes to show you that window doesn't stay open long. We went right from the Stanley Cup Finals to not making the postseason since 2021.
Here's Leafs back in their own zone after the Canadiens got it out. Ekman-Larsson turning, got a pass ahead to Nylander, sifts around one, back in for Ekman-Larsson as the penalty box doors open and the teams are back at full and even strength. Canadiens in their own zone, playing it to the line, and Robertson couldn't keep it in. Canadiens in over the line on the near side. Pass turned over. Robertson trying to saucer it ahead, and he does. Back in over the line for Nylander. He stops up at the top of the circle. Pass into the slot area, and Tavares coming down the chute couldn't get his stick on it. Hudson makes a pass up on the wing for Gallagher. Gallagher feeds it in over the line. Right wing side. Anderson a shot. Knocked down there by Wall with a good glove save. Puck goes around to the far side. Canadiens backhanding it with Savard getting it around the boards to the near side for Anderson. Bunted off the boards but not enough. Gooley will keep it in for Canadiens. Played it on to the far side and chipped by Tanev to center. Leafs get it to the line and in. Tavares hooked to the ice. No call there. That was hooking.
Compared to what we've seen called so far.
No, exactly. That was as egregious a hook as we're going to see. No call. Timmins for the Leafs in his own zone. Got it up on the left wing for Benoit. He'll shoot it in and then peel to the bench. And the teams are changing here as the Canadiens have it under control in their own zone. Tavares, Marner, Nylander, Connor Timmins with the goals as a long shot is handled by Wall and then covered up with a little bit of a gathering down there. But this, and for the lack of a better term, Ralphie, this has been, the last couple of games have just been workmanlike.
Yeah.
Under control. Take advantage of opportunities. Power play obviously is working.
Goaltending's been outstanding.
From the worst in the league to among the best now with the last 3 games.
And yet, it's not the 80s Oilers way of scoring goals in the power play. It's the simple side. To me, a big part of this is Matthew Knies always being in front of the net, because even if he doesn't have a point, even if he doesn't provide the perfect screen, he'll take somebody with him, which opens up 4-on-3 for everybody else.
Played down into the corner in the Toronto zone, back of the net. Tanev punching it up on the wall, got knocked down there, but Domi gets it out. Marner couldn't get it in over the line. The Canadiens are back in their own zone with Hudson playing it into the corner. Marner got there to knock his man back. Down back of the net is Knies. Knies couldn't get it back to the point where Tanev was waiting, and the Canadiens break it out at center. They'll roll it down in wide of the Leaf goal. Played around back of the net to the near corner. Back to the point, kept in by Matheson. Down went Slafkovsky as Matheson got a shot away. That was stopped by Wall. The rebound was so big it caught right by the Canadiens player. Now into the slot, another shot whistled by Hudson. Wide of the Leaf net. Into the corner, back of the goal for Condotta. He can't come up with the puck cleanly. Marner's just going to elevate it and bank it down to Montreal territory to allow a change of players. Armia gets back into the Toronto zone and carries down into the corner. Armia with it, cycles it back behind the net. Condotta knocked down on the play, pucking along the boards. The battle continues with 4 of them in there battling for it. Condotta knocked down, puck still loose. Pushed back towards the blue line. David Camp couldn't get to it. Canadiens send it into the corner now. Cycling the puck nicely. They'll get it back to the point with open ice, and a shot taken there by Jackeye was blockered away nicely by Wall. Jackeye gets it again. Near side for Struble, a shot. Blockered save made there. Another shot stopped by Wall. Canadiens with pretty good pressure. Another shot. That didn't make it through. Canadiens have it again though. Struble, left wing side, into the slot, deflects off a stick and goes out of play. And the Leafs, for the first time really in the game, were under siege a little bit there. But Joseph Wall comes up with about 2 or 3 blockered saves that weren't overly taxing, but still good enough.
Yeah. You remember the LA game where the Leafs had a 5-0 lead into the third period? King scored twice by the midway mark of the third to make it 5-2. Craig Berube called a timeout then. He didn't like what he was seeing, and you wonder if he's getting close to maybe doing the same thing here. I mean, when you look at it, the Leafs are 8-0 and leading after the second, and the Canadiens are 0-6 when trailing after the second. So they can't give Montreal anything to be excited about.
Canadiens unable to get the puck cleanly, and then McMahon gets across the line for Nylander. He had it roll off his stick, and Montreal trying to counterattack with a pass up the middle. In over across the line now for Evans. His shot blocked, cleared off the boards by the Leafs, but it just does clear, and the Canadiens have to go back to center ice. Cooley sends it back in. Wall knocked that down back of the goal, then stumbled before he could get back into the crease area. Puck's along the boards, but all of the play has been in the Toronto end. Round on the far side. Cooley backhands into the corner. Stolen back by Tavares. Tavares circles, now one hands it ahead and launched out and down the ice. It won't have enough to go for icing. Leafs are getting a change, but they've had very little zone time in the Montreal end here as we approach 6 minutes played in the third period. Long shot into the chest of Wall. Joseph Wall will hold on to that and bring a face-off in the Toronto end. Shots are getting closer now, 20-18 in favor of...
Including 7-1 here in the third. Yeah, I don't think Craig Berube is going to be thrilled with Canadiens being on pace for a 28-shot third period.
Face off to the right of Wall. Draw scrum, but the Canadiens control. Near side for Matheson. Matheson works in with a backhand pass. That comes back, and another shot, and Wall is there once more. The screen was set by Gallagher in front of the net, but Wall was in good position looking around him and took that shot from Lane Hudson in the chest and hangs on again.
Lane Hudson has really been one of the bright spots for the Canadiens, averaging over 23 minutes a game back on the Montreal blue line. 7 assists.
How was it?
In the 14 games coming in.
Sort of a neat little shot when Stolarz went to the bench and told Wall that he had just picked it up with his bare hand. And Wall's, you did what? His expression was a little bit disbelieving. Leafs get it down into the Montreal zone for the first time in a while. But now the Canadiens have it once more with a pass up the middle. Brought in over the line. Benoit tied up his man. The puck in the near corner. Comes back to the point. Matheson goes D to the far side. Comes back to Matheson. Matheson in the middle of the rink. Got a shot away that was blocked. Rebound. Bouncing puck. Controlled by the Leafs and kicked by Marner to his winger. And Nyes will get it out. Nyes to Timmins. He opened the scoring. Timmins goes wide against the Canadiens down into the Montreal zone. rubbed out as the Leafs were in the midst of a change. Canadiens have pushed the puck out and down the ice, but won't go for icing, and McCabe has to scamper back. Up for Bobby McMahon. He'll just get it out at center ice. Nylander and Tavares have joined him. Canadiens shoot it right back down into the Toronto zone. Along the boards, McCabe ties his man up as it comes back to the point. Savard goes D to D, and a long shot is well wide of the net. McCabe in against the boards on the near side. Had the pass intercepted. Leafs are going to get it airmailed high out and down the ice. And an icing call coming as a result. With exactly 7 minutes played here in the third period. Toronto 4, Montreal 1.
He's factoring else. I think Marty St. Louis got to be thrilled that the Canadiens haven't just mailed it in here in the third.
Well, it is going to be a long season in Montreal, I'm afraid. And we've seen that already, haven't we?
I mean, I think the expectations are a little bigger in Buffalo, Ottawa.
Yep.
And as far as looking for that big jump forward to get into the postseason.
Errant pass by the Canadiens this time is an icing. So it'll be brought back into the Montreal zone. Again, a reminder, Ottawa here on Tuesday night. And that's a 7 o'clock start. Leafs after the Ottawa game are back-to-back. They're in Washington, so we're going to see Alex Ovechkin next week. Boy, he's dialing the clock back a little bit, isn't he? Armia got the puck out at center. Reeves couldn't help out. Then he takes his man to the boards, but the puck comes back to the point. Canadiens keep it in. Shot blocked there by Camp, and he'll punch it out into neutral ice. Shot high back into the Leaf end. Both teams are changing. Reeves getting a little shove there from Heineman as the Leafs just play it into Montreal territory and back off. Robertson out there with Nylander and Pontus Holmberg. Down into the zone it goes. Canadiens taking it wide back to the point. Long shot. That deflected wide of the goal. Into the far corner. Back to the point to Jackeye. Now the near side. Blocked shot there off of Robertson's shin pad. Leafs back of the net. Playing it around the boards a little bit too far for the defense, but kept in by Montreal, and a shot by Caulfield goes high off his stick and up into the screen, out of play.
Leafs better give their head a shake here during this commercial break. I'm sure Craig Berube is going to say, fellas, we ain't finished with this one yet.
11:33 to play third period, and the Leafs lead the Canadiens 4-1. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
The UEFA Champions League is back on Sirius XM FC, and this year it's bigger than ever.
Absolutely ridiculous from Real Madrid. Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Now with more matches featuring soccer's most iconic clubs as they battle it out for European supremacy.
What a start for Inter! Haaland scores the hat-trick!
From the league phase to the final, the Champions League is on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
You either put up or shut up. Marchand does, Doughty does, Stone does. And if you don't have enough of those players, get rid of them, because they'll make you lose. They'll frustrate the fan base. I want people that are with me, rowing in the same direction. And if you can't, get out of town. We'll find someone who can.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
The National Women's Soccer League Championship game is coming to Sirius XM. Hey, it's World Cup winner Heather O'Reilly of Sirius XM FC. Join Jessica Charman and me for the first national radio broadcast of the NWSL final. That's right, Heather. We'll be taking you through every thrilling moment live from Kansas City. Join us as we make history at the 2024 NWSL final on Saturday, November 23rd at 8 Eastern. And it's on Sirius XM FC channel 157 and streaming on the Sirius XM app.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen. Walks in. Put it between his legs. Shoots it. Score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Radio Network.
Face off in the Toronto zone with 11:33 to play in the third period. The Leafs 4 and the Canadiens 1. Tavares, Marner, Nylander, and Timmins. A pair of power play goals for the Leafs and a shorthanded tally as well. Long shot swallowed up by Wall, which will give the Canadiens 20 shots on goal. The Leafs have had 21 at Sam Montembeault.
Whistles put away now?
Seems like it.
Great run in the second period, but no penalties, no power plays in the first or so far here in the third.
Jake Evans facing off with Domi. And the draw scrummed. So Tanev trying to take it back at the net. Got it in the far corner for Marner. Canadians stole it back. Tanev using his body well there to play it around the boards, but it'll be trapped by Matheson at the point. Far side and a pass into the slot goes astray. Nyes looking to get it airmailed high and does. The center ice. There's Marner bunting it with his head to try to get it into the zone again.
Second time this game, isn't it?
Yep. Canadians get it back into the Toronto zone. Caulfield was upended there by Jake McCabe without a call. And it's back down into the zone, and Domi got knocked down, and he is slow to get up as he heads to the Toronto bench.
Yeah, that was, that's a hit from behind, maybe a headshot.
Canadians back in on the left wing. Savard, around centering pass, knocked away, and the Leafs break it out now with a pass that is slowly going to get to Tavares, but he couldn't poke it ahead. Josh Anderson comes right back in for Montreal. Couldn't get a shot away, neither could Gallagher. And the Canadians lose the puck, and the Leafs get it out. Nylander coming through neutral ice across the line. Flips to the right wing side. Ekman-Larsson centers, and Nylander tried to control a bouncing puck, but never got a shot away. Nylander up against the boards, got it around back of the goal to the near side to Tavares. A shot going top shelf, but off the chest of Montembeault and gathered up. And the face-off is going to come in the Montreal zone when we return. Half the third period in the books. 4-1 Toronto. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan on the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Fall for Subaru by enjoying fall to the fullest. Think scarlet, burgundy, amber, crimson and copper, but never, never blue. Because with Subaru's symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive, fall is for thick, dark mud splats, terracotta mountain roads, radiant sunsets, kaleidoscopic leaf carpets, and the boldest of adventures. Avoid autumn blues and visit your local Subaru dealership to book a test drive today.
Over to our sideline reporter now with Brick and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 or older, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
Getting my Honda CR-V has opened the door to adventure. With Econ Mode to maximize fuel efficiency, I'm free to explore. And with tons of cargo space, it's easy to pack for getaways. My dog, camping gear. It's like I've discovered a wild, adventurous side of me. Alice is excited too.
Lease the CR-V LX two-wheel drive for $99 weekly at 2.99% APR for 28 months with $2,000 down.
Yeah, that's right. It's Hockey Night in Canada, everybody. The best theme song. Just gets me in a good mood because it's Saturday night. Thank you so much for being here, hanging out with us, the Leafs, the Canadiens, Toronto, Montreal. It doesn't get any bigger. Thank you all for being here. Please hit that like button and share this thing out so we can find more hockey fans, preferably Leafs fans, but Habs fans, it's fun too because a little bit of trash talk is always enjoyable here on TSI when we're hanging out together, keeping it classy. Now let's get back to the hockey. Thank you for liking. Let's hit, I don't know, let's go for 1,500 tonight, huh? That sounds good. Maybe 2,000? We've been rolling. Thank you so much for hitting that like and sharing this link out. We'll see you guys back in the chat. Go Leafs, go! Let's tear up Montreal and get it done. Hockey Night in Canada. Let's go.
Having difficulties with Tanev, and then McCabe just flips it out at center. Bouncing puck that Domi couldn't get. Suzuki sends it back into the Toronto end. Most of the third period has been played down to our right, but the score remains the way it was when the period started. Christopher Tanev carrying to center. Shoots it in, heads to the bench. Pontus Holmberg up, forechecking. Slavkovsky gets it off on the right side for David Savard. Down into the Toronto end it goes. Timmins circles the net with it. Played it off the boards and out. This is going to be waved off, so there's no icing. Montembeault plays it himself out at center. The Leafs have to get onside to allow Benoit access. He takes it with the front of the net, a shot. That was stopped. Montembeault gets drilled from behind after crashing into, or at least Holmberg gets drilled from behind after crashing into Montembeault.
Well, and this, I mean, I know you think you've got to protect your goaltender on this. This is just, I mean, this is just incidental contact with a player going to the net. And Montreal should find themselves a man short here. Yeah, there it is. So any chance of a Montreal comeback now is in greater jeopardy. Simon Benoit, nice play to throw it out front. And really, Holmberg's just reaching for the rebound, but Montembeault's on his way sliding out of the crease still. And the two collide outside the blue paint. And Newhook, like I said, I understand it. You see your goaltender, you feel get taken down. But you could have just grabbed him and held on to him and at least, try to get a 4-on-4 out of it. And Marty St. Louis, I think, is trying to plead the case that should be what the call was.
Well, the Leafs will try for their third power play opportunity and power play goal of the game. Tavares, Nyes, Marner, Riley, and Nylander, who gets in over the line and drops it back to Marner. Behind the net, it goes to Willie. Nylander to the near side, back behind the goal to Marner, back to Nylander. Top of the circles, now a shot by Marner on a one-timer from the near circle is swallowed up by Montembeault. If there is a change, it is we get a chance to shoot the puck.
Yeah.
It really is, and it's very noticeable.
And then Big Peru, you kind of say, well, yeah, that makes sense. You'd say we got to shoot the puck more. I mean, we got to get more pucks to the net.
Draw one by the Leafs. Tavares. Riley walks the line, drops it back for Willie. Nylander down low, centering pass off the stick of Tavares and off a Canadian stick up into the screen. Another quick one pass, and let's get it going. And your man Nyes is right there at the side of the net.
I mean, he has been a wonderful addition, hasn't he? I mean, even before the Austin Matthews injury, they were using Nyes and then keeping Nylander and Tavares in the second unit.
Tavares unable to keep the puck in. The Canadiens breaking here. Nylander trying to get back to tie up his man, and then a shot is whistled high and wide. And the Leafs are going to break it out at center, and they've got a 3-on-1. Marner in over the line. Marner works into the slot, shooting. Oh, and that was stopped by Montembeault. Puck kept in by the Leafs momentarily. Canadiens get it out and down into the Leaf end.
Well, Mike Matheson of the Canadiens, he had to gamble at the blue line to try to keep it in, as Montreal's got to try to get some sort of offense going, even though shorthanded, and the Leafs very nearly take advantage of it.
Robertson sends it down into the zone. 48 seconds on the power play. McMahon and Robertson get it back at the net. Robertson banks to the point. Ekman-Larsson to the near side. Back to Robertson. He mishandled the pass. Comes back along the boards. Robertson trying to get it around to the other side, and he has to Timmins. Connor Timmins works back towards the blue line. Back to Domi on the right wing half boards. Back it goes to Timmins. Now to Ekman-Larsson. Oh, and he had that corner and he missed. Kept alive by Domi at the far half wall. Domi a centering pass. One-timer taken by Timmins was blocked. Canadiens trying to break out at center. Right wing side, Josh Anderson. Great play made there by Ekman Larsson. And the Leafs are countering with Domi coming through center. One man back. Domi in on goal with a shot. Block, rebound. Underneath Montembeault and held.
Boy, that was trickling through the Montreal goaltender towards the goal line. But Montembeault fell back just in time to stop the momentum of the puck and keep the score at 4-1 Toronto.
6:49 left to play.
What a play by Oliver Ekman Larsson, though, coming back on Josh Anderson, the one-handed poke check to turn the puck over and head back again the other way with an odd man rush. I was more concerned watching the clock and Marner at the Leafs on that opportunity at the same time with Domi to see if they were going to be able to make it another power play goal. I think it would have been considered 5-on-5.
Was it? Well, you are a connoisseur of time.
Yes.
Clocks, numbers,
What is a connoisseur?
shots on goal.
What is a connoisseur exactly?
Not really sure. It's a pretty important position, though.
I bet you can't spell it.
C-O-N, I think. And then sir. Canadiens get it out at center and down into the Leaf end. And going back to retrieve it is Chris Tanev, who gets it out at center, and Reeves whacks at it to get it down into Montreal territory. Pass up the middle for Suzuki. Suzuki on the right wing side for Kirby Dach. That didn't connect. Dach goes into the corner with a hefty hit. Puck to the far side. Reeves misses his man, but the puck comes back to him. Centering pass off a stick. And now Lorentz can't get it out. Shot blockered away. Bouncing puck. Played into the corner off the stick there of Benoit. Benoit runs into traffic. David Camp is able to get the puck free. And it is played to the line and out and then brought in offside by Montreal with 5:46 to play as we go to a commercial break. The Leafs 4, the Canadiens 1. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Out front tonight, the breaking news.
Get closer to what's happening right now with the Sirius XM news channels.
The images coming in of a large wildfire burning, evacuations underway.
From cable news to business.
And so the markets need to be prepared for that and the volatility.
And international.
Very large stockpiles of ammunition and advanced weapons because of its own preparations to defend
the Sirius XM news channels, starting at channel 112 and on the Sirius XM app.
Hockey 24/7 on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
This is the NHL. These are pros. You don't want guys to put good power play units on, don't take penalties. You don't want good power play units to score goals when you've given up a whole bunch, kill them. You don't like it, do something about it. If you want to reward your guys who had a good game with a chance to get some more goals and points, do it. If I was a coach, I wouldn't care. Who cares? Worry about your own team. Don't worry about mine.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91. And on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. NHL Morning Skate.
Michael Bunting of the Pittsburgh Penguins. You've always had the great ability to play with great players.
I think my style of play complements the top dogs, as you will, like kind of go to those harder areas in the corner in front of the net and kind of create space for them and get them the puck and, help them create offense off of that. So kind of found a little niche with that.
NHL Morning Skate.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. The one that's hanging out with us on Hockey Night in Canada, listening to the Leafs and the Habs. Thanks for being here. Why haven't you subscribed yet? We are growing the biggest community of Toronto sports fans on the internet and having fun every single Maple Leafs game. Please hit that subscribe button and help our amazing community on our way to 75,000 subscribers/insiders. Thank you to all of you who have already subscribed. It's a dream come true. Now let's get back to having fun with the hockey game and chatting it up. We'll see you guys back in there. Go Leafs, go! Thank you for hitting that subscribe button. Let's go.
A draw scrummed. Tavares, you mentioned about John Tavares in the faceoff circle. That power play, I think he won 4 straight. You won another one there, so that stat's got to be getting a little bit better, I would think.
Yep, 12 and 10 now. So
thank you.
It's about 500.
Played in over the line into the Canadian zone, forcing Matheson back to reorganize. Up ahead for Caulfield. Caulfield to the defenseman on the left wing side, and Hudson sends it into the Leaf zone. Riley gets the puck from his goaltender, and the Leafs are going to play it out. Not far enough for icing. Canadians have to go back, and we'll start up with a lead pass to the Leaf blue line for Gallagher. Gallagher got it in along the boards. A pass back in for Caulfield, and the Domi back checking there, got his stick in the way and redirected that up into the screen out of play. Max Domi has mentioned in a couple of interviews that really working on his defensive game, and that's part and parcel about what has been asked of everyone by head coach Craig Berube.
But as we've said,
blocking shots, deflecting pucks.
But it's still okay to shoot it.
Yes.
You've got the
that
puck.
part has not been taken away. No.
And one thing you like with Domi and Marner playing on the same line is they think the game the same way. The little plays, the little passes, and the execution.
Jack-Eye got the puck into the corner. The Leafs are going to bank it off the boards to the line. Jack-Eye was hit there by Nyes. Puck back in the net for Marner. Marner tried to chip it up, but McCabe was going back to his defensive responsibilities, and the Leafs get it ahead. Domi just backhanding it out and down into the Canadiens' end. Jack-Eye going around back of the net. The Hamilton native starts out. Got away from one, but couldn't get away from another. Pontus Holmberg broke up the rush, but the Canadiens are able to shoot it back in. Now 4:20 to go in the third period. McCabe getting it to Holmberg. Out at center for Robertson. Down the right wing and into the zone. Stops up, tried to center, but was too well covered. Puck is in against the end boards. Canadians come away with it, and they'll work it out at center ice now. Heineman getting it into the Leaf zone. Around back of the net, swept along the boards. Off a stick it goes, and now Pontus Holmberg through center along with Robertson. Holmberg drives right and tried to get a shot away, but he fanned on it, then paid the price by taking a pretty good hit. Played down into the Toronto end. Timmins, near corner for Benoit. Got it ahead, and Tavares out at center, just shooting it down into the Montreal zone. 3:28 to play. Canadians get it out at center. And unable to get it in was Matheson. Then when he did, the Leafs play it right back out. Nylander starts through center. Kicked it ahead for David Camp. Real mix and match as far as the lines are concerned since the injury to Pacioretty. In along the boards it goes. Nylander circles the net. Nylander working back with a reverse to Tavares. Swept around the boards for Tanev at the point. Sent right back in behind the net for David Camp. Couldn't get it in front. Tavares is able to help him out. Works back on the near wing. Still with it. In tight quarters. Plays it to Camp. Round on the boards for Tanev. Punched right back in from whence it came. Here on the point it comes now to McCabe. Doesn't go D to D. Sends it around to the far side for Domi. Now the Leafs trying to play a little keep away. Back to the point to Tanev. Tanev sending it in off a skate. And Newhook for the Canadiens gets it up, and they'll just get it out at center ice. 2:19 left in the third. 4-1 Toronto. Chris Tanev starting back. And it is bounced in on goal. Knocked away by Montembeault. Isn't this where in Montreal you get the na-na-na-na, hey? Is that starting up? You got a little bit going.
Yes. This building's known for its large chants.
I'm a very good singer. I kind of pride myself in that. Brought in on the left wing.
Yeah, well, see how many times that's downloaded. Joey's song.
Joey's song. Shot there by the Canadians. Stopped by Wall. Minute 25 to go. It comes back to the point. Jack-Eye's shot is blocked, and it is Riley getting it up on the wing for Nyes. Nyes muscles it around the boards to the near side, and trying to push it up the boards was Ekman Larson, and they'll get it to center, and Lorenz sends it down into the Montreal end. Reeves along with Camp, with a minute left to go in the third period. The Canadiens are going to lose their 6th in a row.
And the Leafs will have a 9-game winning streak at home. Overall against the Canadiens, that gets extended ties a franchise record.
Pass into the slot area and unable to get a shot away was Pontus Holmberg. Leafs get the puck back in their own territory. On the wing, Benoit out at center. Grabbed off then by Reeves. Reeves across the line into the corner. Reeves taken wide, stops it up. Holmberg played into the far corner with 20 seconds left. Canadiens just playing at the center. And the time is ticking down as the Toronto Maple Leafs are going to enjoy back-to-back victories on home ice against original 6 opponents. As the puck goes into the Canadian zone and the final seconds will tick down to put the finishing touches on a 4-1 victory over the Montreal Canadiens. The 3 stars brought to you by Desjardins Insurance. Get insurance that's really big on care.
Well, I think we're going to go star number 3 to Connor Timmins. First goal of the season. It's great to see him get the opportunity to be in the lineup. We're going to have to go with some regulars. Number 2, we'll go Willie Nylander at a goal and an assist. And first star of the game, Mitch Marner has really stepped up. A lot of players have in the absence of Austin Matthews, but Mitch Marner again, maybe the best player on the ice for either side. So a couple of multi-point games, special consideration to John Tavares, who gets another goal tonight, and Joseph Wall, who stops 20 of 21 to even his record of 2-2 on the season.
So the Maple Leafs will entertain the Ottawa Senators here on Tuesday night. We hope that you will join us. 7 o'clock start as this winning streak continues against Montreal with a 4-1 victory. The postgame show is coming your way. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
You've been listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network. There's a Molson with your name on it.
This week on Let's Go with Bill Belichick, Max Crosby, Peter King, and me, Jim Gray.
Barkley beats one man, spins past another, leaps over a third.
What was that?
I wonder if you saw the Saquon Barkley reverse jump.
Everyone knows he's a freaky athlete. I've never seen anything like that, I'm not going to lie. It's like the greatest 15-yard run I've ever seen in my life.
Listen to the extended version of Let's Go, now available exclusively on the all-new SiriusXM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
You either put up or shut up. Marchand does, Doughty does, Stone does. And if you don't have enough of those players, get rid of them, because they'll make you lose. They'll frustrate the fan base. I want people that are with me, rowing in the same direction. And if you can't, get out of town. We'll find someone who can.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. Hockey 24/7 on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio.
This is the NHL. These are pros. You don't want guys to put good power play units on, don't take penalties. You don't want good power play units to score goals when you've given up a whole bunch, kill them. You don't like it, do something about it. If you want to reward your guys who had a good game with a chance to get some more goals and points, do it. If I was a coach, I wouldn't care. Who cares? Worry about your own team. Don't worry about mine.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and on your schedule with the SiriusXM app. NHL Morning Skate.
Michael Bunting of the Pittsburgh Penguins. You've always had the great ability to play with great players.
I think my style of play complements the top dogs, as you will, like kind of go to those harder areas in the corner in front of the net and kind of create space for them and get them the puck and, you know, help them create offense off of that. So kind of found a little niche with that.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. The big names are on NHL Network Radio.
The head coach of the Carolina Hurricanes, Rod Brindamore.
Could check off making that jump last year. What do you see in the net?
The kid wants it. That's the first thing. Is he going to be the guy that we're looking at this year to get after it and take a bigger role? Maybe. But we still got Freddie in here. I think he's got something to prove. So I think we're going to have a good battle in the net.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. From in the crease to in the locker room.
Flyers defenseman Travis Sanheim.
Is it a rebuild type thing? Is it definitely a playoff team in your mind?
I think last season, I don't know if anyone in our room was saying rebuild. We thought that we could surprise some teams, and I think we did that. A lot of guys that are coming back, and then obviously adding meat stuff is going to be huge. So, we're looking forward to getting started and seeing if we can build off of last season.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Leafs Radio Network, a rousing 4-1 win for the Maple Leafs tonight on Hockey Night in Canada against the Montreal Canadiens. That was a loud and happy crowd to wrap that 60 minutes up.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, it cleared out a little bit early because,
it's the Gardner.
Beat the traffic a little bit. But yeah, standing ovation that started about a minute in or a minute out. And yeah, the
they were
crowd
trying to chant something. What were they trying to chant?
I think it was mocking the Canadiens in some fashion, the fans. And there were a lot of them here. But yeah, the fans were definitely pleased with the performance, and as they should, because it was a pretty dominant, comprehensive, rousing, as you put it, victory for the Maple Leafs, who continue their torrid run without their captain, Austin Matthews.
Yeah, that was a fun one. 4-1, as we mentioned. The whole game was basically special teams dominance, right? Like whether it was a PK goal for the Leafs, a couple power play goals. Again, it's just rolling. I'm sure the Leafs Talk boys will get to that when they get to their post-game show. But great to see the confidence continuing. I thought also Joseph Woll had a pretty solid game. I mean, he wasn't tested for the first period much. I think they had 4 shots, but they ended up with 21, and they definitely put a lot more pressure on in that third period, the Montreal Canadiens, where the Leafs had to be like, all right, we're going to run away with this. We better dial it in a little bit defensively, and Joseph Woll definitely helped them stay steady in that.
Yeah, it was turning into one of those games where, okay, they got like 3 shots through the first 25 minutes, and then one's going to beat you, and the stat line's not going to look very good, but Montreal did rack up enough shots for which you give it up 1 on 21. It's a pretty good outing for Joseph Woll.
Okay, let's take one more look at the NHL scoreboard presented by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Play responsibly. Visit ConnexOntario.ca.
Let's do it. The Sabres beat the Flames 3-2 in a shootout earlier this afternoon. Also this afternoon, the Jets beat the Stars in a big Central Division matchup. 4-3, the Panthers beat the Flyers in a shootout. The Rangers got a 4-0 victory over the Red Wings, who continue to struggle. The Senators beat the Bruins in overtime 3-2. Capitals beat up on the Blues 8-1. Ovi scores twice. Islanders 3-2 in the third period over the Devils right now, clinging to that lead. 3-0 the Predators lead the Utah Hockey Club. 1-0 lead for the Blue Jackets over the Kings. End of one. Hurricanes end of 1-0 over the Avalanche, and the only game that has not started yet or completed, Oilers and Canucks, moments from now on Hockey Night in Canada.
All right, our next Sportsnet 590 The Fan broadcast is Wednesday night versus the red-hot Washington Capitals.
That's going to be a good one.
It will be. In the meantime, we'll send it over to Leafs Talk with JD Bunkus and Sam McKee. Thanks for listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan, the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Leafs Talk, JD Bunkus, the return of Sam McKee, who was at the game last night. Jackie Redmond filled in for you admirably. I got to tell you, buddy, you were on the hot seat in the chat.
Yeah, of course. Shocker. Yeah. It's a really stunning development there.
Yeah.
Okay. So you were chirping me pre-show. For the people who are watching on YouTube, you're chirping me pre-show about having the poppy on the wrong side. But now we got the box with my name on it. You can't see it.
Yeah,
so I'm going over to this side.
You gotta go. Yeah, it's
all
right.
Over here. There we go.
Hey, you know what? This is good because this is probably the best way to start the show anyways. Listen, if you watch the beginning and the opening ceremonies and you don't get emotional, I don't know what to tell you. Like, we have so few World War II veterans left. We're talking about people who are now living to be 100 years old and still with us. And, obviously very grateful for that. And yeah, Remembrance Day is an important time in this country. I know it's very meaningful to you and I. And I would say, like, listen, we don't like to get too preachy on the show, but I would ask, like, take 5 seconds out of your day tomorrow and make sure that you go and grab a poppy. You walk into any Shoppers Drug Mart, basically any single convenience store. You're walking, like, I know some of you commute to work. You're on a drive right now. You're like, oh, where am I going to go and stop? I think it's just a meaningful thing. It's a great signifier. I know how I feel when I see a lot of people wearing poppies versus when I don't. And I know what it means to those people that served when they see it on people too. And so, yeah, 10 seconds takes you. Just figure it out. Get one on, fire it up. And yeah, I think we're going to, obviously, everybody spends a Monday with their moment of silence to reflect on what the men and women who serve for this country have done for all of us. So not the greatest time in our country, I would say, lately, but yeah, this is something that is still very, very important.
I will say, when I used to do Leafs Nation postgame, I would go to the games, every year for 3 years. I was the producer of the broadcast on the Sportsnet Radio Network. And I was always so excited when we got the Armed Forces night because it was just such a meaningful night down there. And, they had people come up into the booth where they'd spend time with Joe and Jim, and they'd come in and we get to talk to them. And they're just always so happy to be there. So sweet. And then after the game, they're out in the ice, they're meeting players, which is probably happening right now. It's just, it's an awesome thing that the Leafs do at this time of year. And the least you can do is wear a poppy. So good way to start there, buddy. And Absolutely. Jim Parks doesn't look a day over 6,500. Oh my God. He's looking younger than me.
Absolutely crush it for 100. So yeah, they get a win for the troops. They get a win for the troops. Leafs dominate the Habs. Maybe a little bit of a let up in the third period where Montreal tried to pour it on, but for the most part, that was a solid effort from the Maple Leafs and Habs team that is just completely overwhelmed. I can't believe they've got a show that's going to be following the Habs around all season. Here's my guess is those players are going to be pretty tired of it by January.
Did you ever watch the Netflix show about Sunderland? The English Premier team? No. That was so they were like a really proud franchise. Yeah. And they got demoted to the second league, to the championship.
Yep.
And then they did this whole year long documentary on them, in their pursuit to go back up. And they actually got worse and they went down another level. It was so it's basically they're doing a documentary. The Habs are Sunderland. Yeah. And they were supposed to take a step this year. Yeah. And they're just equally as bad as they've been for the past few years. I got to tell you, man, I guess we'll just start here. It's an embarrassing squad that they got going on there.
It's a really bad hockey team.
It's the Montreal Canadiens, and clearly we're both, Leaf fans growing up. We always hate the Montreal Canadiens, but you want the Montreal Canadiens to show some pride, to show they are a real legit hockey team. It's a better, it's a classic saying, it's a better league when the Montreal Canadiens are good. And I just don't see the route to it. Sure, they got some young players in that Hudson everybody's talking about, and Slavkovsky, and
Cole Caulfield again tonight, but
Cole Caulfield, who's all right, but I don't know, man. I look at that squad and I don't know what the path is. They stink. They play with no passion. I don't know, Martin St. Louis, they brought him off. He was a legendary player. The last thing he coached was Pee Wee hockey, and they throw him behind the bench of the Montreal Canadiens, and it's that's a tough job. I don't know. I really, if I was a Habs fan, I would be really disenchanted with the direction of the franchise. I know they got Ken Hughes in there to, he's rebuilding and he's doing the right thing or whatever. That feels like a team that's a few years away from being a competitive playoff team. And I don't know how long that market's gonna take that. They stink.
They were supposed to be competitive this year. Maybe they weren't supposed to be a playoff team, but they were supposed to be competitive. Man. And yeah, listen, Montreal still has the COVID season, the 3-1 blown series lead, which they get to wear as a feather in their cap and is a tough one. But I actually was thinking tonight about how bad this Montreal team has been and how bad Ottawa has been now for such a long stretch, where this playoff format was supposed to be, hey, there's parity in the league and teams are going to kind of go up and down. And you're going to develop rivalries. And instead, Toronto has developed rivalries with one market that it isn't a rivalry because they've been beat down by them so badly that Bruins fans just view Toronto as a joke. And Tampa, who has no real hockey fans, and nothing was more clear than the night Stamkos came back and you saw some of the reception from the quote unquote Tampa people. So yeah, it is a bit.
Did you watch the intro to Hockey Night in Canada where Sean McKenzie did like the club, like the country club of like the teams, and it's just the same 4 teams every year in the Atlantic, and it's like you're waiting for one of these other teams to get like the invite in, and it's just they never do.
Nobody's getting in. Nobody's gotten in. Same this year.
Although Sens did beat the Bruins tonight in overtime, I think the Bruins are heading in the wrong direction. Sens maybe get in there. But anyways, if I was a Habs fan who spent, I don't know, I saw a lot of red in that lower bowl. It's Saturday night Hall of Fame weekend. Ticket, you're conservatively spending $5.50 for a lower bowl ticket.
Yep.
I'd be pretty embarrassed leaving that rink. That was a dog effort by the Montreal Canadiens. They were awful tonight in all 3 zones. God. And no wonder Lane Hudson's ice time so high. He spends 2 minutes a game in his own zone chasing the puck around. No wonder his ice time's so high.
So story of the game to me is pretty clear. The Leafs are now just went 3-0 without Austin Matthews. They outscored teams 11-2. Without Matthews in the lineup, I think they're now 40-19-2 overall. I might have that wrong by a game.
What's that winning percentage?
Dude, it's absurd. I'm not even this is a real question. When Matthews comes back, presumably on Tuesday night,
press box?
Are you no? Are you? Yeah, only because Pacioretty got hurt. That's why he's got his spot.
You can get back in.
But are you putting him back on power play 1 right away? 5 straight. They had 5 straight opportunities with a goal. The power play has been absolutely destroying. And yes, that started before he came out. So I don't want to get too over the top with this, but yeah, the power play is clicking. Dude, they went from being, this was, I saw Myrtle tweet this one out, that they're now up to 22% in the season from 8 just like a couple of weeks ago. 22% on the season, barring what some of the results are tonight, is top 10 in the NHL. They've gone from the worst power play in the league to a top 10 power play essentially overnight. It's absurd.
The second Austin Matthews got injured.
Yeah.
They turned into the best power play in the league. I will say the Willie one, I don't really count as a power play goal. That's
I do.
It's 4 fire pokers. He cruises through the neutral zone and shoots in the net. That's not like your typical power play goal per se, but it's still a power play goal. It still counts. Like look at none of these guys. That's just embarrassing by the Habs. Sorry to bring it up again, but holy crap, that's so bad. If you're watching on YouTube, I don't know what is supposed to be.
It's a beautiful play by Nylander.
It's a great goal, but
the last one, he loads up the whole ice coast to coast,
put a body on him.
Final play. Yeah, of course, sure.
I don't know. You have to. Clearly, you have to put him on PP1. But probably the answer is no. If we're being honest here, I think you'd have if all things were equal and we didn't live in Toronto and have the conversations about this team and the way that Austin Matthews is and everything to do. He shouldn't go back up there right away, but they will, and he will be on the top power play unit, and he'll get power play minutes. But
Tavares is 2 straight games with a goal, so you're taking him off the unit. You're going back to 5 forwards. Morgan Riley scored over the stretch. Who are you taking off? Marner's looked brilliant. Nylander is leading the league in goals, which I think is the quietest story in Leafland right now. Is the fact that Nylander has just casually been tied for the league leading goals, and people just kind of yeah, whatever. It's not the 3rd day of the season.
He makes $11.5 million, so he should be up there.
Sure,
he's producing to his contract. That's
but
what
he should also get credit when he's up there too. And I'm just saying, it's barely a story. It's just it's a throwaway line in broadcast. He's leading the league. You're good. Pretty good.
Good. I'm glad that he's doing that. Good. I guess it's you just go back to the 2 unit thing if you want to do it like that, or you just it's a tough one. It's a conundrum.
No, answer the question though.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Matthew.
I don't know. Buddy, I'm not. No, you're not. You're not. Mark Savard and Craig Berube are not taking him off the top unit.
Buddy, you're just going back forever.
You're just going back to the same thing. You're going to a top unit now that they're rolling, and you just go Riley, Tavares, Marner, Nylander, Matthews.
So Nyes comes off.
Yeah, that's what you do.
So just betraying my tweet from the other night, where it was no matter what happens with the power play, Nyes has to be on.
Listen,
it.
Do I think? it should be Tavares. And I know he scored here or whatever, but if you're all things being equal, I've said this a million times, Tavares comes on, Matthews goes back on. It may not be the right thing. I don't know, but it's going to be nice. And it's going to go back to what it was at the start of the year when they couldn't do anything. And he'll come back and they'll suck again. And then we'll all be like, oh my God, they got to take power play. Like, it's so stupid. It's the stupidest sport in the world. Like I was saying that at the game last night. You know, the best goal scorer maybe on planet Earth outside Ovi right now, which is another story.
I hate it.
He gets hurt and their power play immediately becomes the best in the league. It's just the stupidest sport in the world. This has broken my brain. I really don't know. And they look so much better. Directness. Like it's everything Berube has said he wanted from the start of the year. Every single press conference is, I want it to be direct. I want more shots. The second Matthews went away, it started to happen, and the puck started to go in the net. So I don't know if it's a coincidence. I don't know if they're not deferring to him. I know it's weird. That's all I can say. I know it's professional. I know that's professional analysis. It's weird, dude.
No, it is weird, but it's all those things. It's never one thing, right? With stuff like this in sports, part of it is a coincidence. Part of it is luck. Part of it is regression to the mean. Part of it is what you're talking about, which they're finally following through on what the mandate has been from day one with this power play.
Yeah.
But I do think, and I mentioned this yesterday, I think that part of it is that these guys, and specifically Mitch Marner, who is out there to basically be the feeder to Austin Matthews, doesn't need to be thinking about, well, we got to get this guy his touches. And it just feels like everyone's involved. And that's how the power play feels right now. It's like Nyes has been a contributor on it. Morgan Riley's been a contributor. Marner has been spectacular on it. Nylander's making plays for himself off the rush and burying. Like every single guy on the power play feels dangerous, as opposed to what it felt like before, which was weirdly, why don't any of these guys feel dangerous? And so to me, I just think that if you are the captain and you are the leader, and it is a sport where when things are going well, you tend to stick with it. It's not going to be forever. I just don't know why you wouldn't be like, you just came back, the power play's cooking, leave it as it is for a game and just have it so that it's one game where they don't score a goal, for God's sake. Can I just get one game before you fire him back up there? Like, I'm being dead serious. I
know
I don't
you
care
are.
how many people call me an idiot. I don't care how many people are against the idea that Matthews is there.
Dude.
I understand who he is, what he means, all these different things. But right now, the power play's hot. Leave it alone. Don't touch it.
Okay. You're not an idiot because I get a lot of mentions. This team's better without Matthews. Like, it's the Sundin thing all over.
That I don't believe.
No, but like, I mean, they want to have a 700 winning percentage without him. Are we sure? Like,
they've never lost a game without
I'm
Matthews.
starting to be like, are we sure they're not better without him? Like, I really don't know anymore.
You start to look at like what a trade would look like. Yeah.
Yeah. Can we get some picks for him? Maybe. Like, I don't know.
Yes. Okay. Yes, you're not the GM. God, you figure it'd be hard to do worse than Dubas, but there we are. Anyway, the one power play goal is spectacular, but also special teams been great for this team in general. Yeah. Like I've been mentioning it, they've got one of the best penalty kills in the NHL. Yeah. They've been just a really good defensive team this year. A lot of it is, of course, when you get saves and you get the play of Stolar so far through the season. And Woll was solid tonight. I don't think that he had to do too much spectacular. I think maybe his best save of the game came early, and then he actually, the toughest part of that one is that he basically had to go 2 periods where he didn't touch the puck and then was fine in the third. But the penalty kill, like they get a shorthanded goal, and it's I thought it was kind of a funny one because Kampf overskates it so bad. Like it's such a terrible play by Kampf and then a good play by Kampf to find Marner, who doesn't quit on the play whatsoever and gets to a spot and beats Suzuki to it and then buries. But yeah, this was kind of the game is completely over moment to me.
Marner is outstanding recently. It's unbelievable. And, watching him live last night, I so rarely get to go to a Leafs game. And when you get to go, I love going to Leaf games, and to see him live, it's just he's otherworldly right now. And tonight again, he's so good. And, watching this, not to look too far down the road, and I don't want to talk about the contract here or whatever, but if you're another team that is, on the up and up building, let's say like a Chicago Blackhawks, or let's say like a team that's wanting to contend sometime soon, where you're trying to put a good player with some of your young guys. Like, this is what he looks like when he's the best player on the team. And when he is like the focal point, he is unbelievable. And listen, he's good when Matthews is in the lineup. They've had their moments together, but him as like the focal point of your team, best player. And I know Willie's leading the league in goals or whatever, but Marner's just over this last stretch been the best player. And, you start convincing yourself, if you're another team, being like, boy, Really hoping he gets to free agency so I can throw some money at that guy because, God, he is really, really coming on. It's been unbelievable.
Listen, he's always been a great regular season player.
For sure.
You can really tell when he's completely on, and it's the legs and it's the edges and it's the stick handling in tight spaces where it just feels as though he's playing in a different league. And guys can't get the puck off of his stick. He's been that guy recently. I still believe that you keep him away from Matthews. The only problem with that theory is that you need Max Domi to start scoring goals, and he defers again tonight in some spots. But Max Domi makes almost $4 million a season, and I know that he's someone that Leaf fans are very reluctant to criticize. He's someone that you and I both advocate for getting good minutes with good players. I do believe that he will eventually break through and show more than what he's showing right now. But it's what? How many games in the season are we now? 16? Is this the 16th game? So 16 games in the season, you don't have a goal and you've got 6 assists. Like, for sure, you've been down on power play 2 and you've been down on the third line playing with some tougher players, but you've also been up the lineup now. And he's not producing enough for what he's supposed to make or what he does make and for what he's supposed to provide when he's playing with good players. And I think the toughest case for keeping Matthews away from Marner when he returns and just loading back that line is that Domi just didn't really do much with the opportunity.
Yeah, they need more from Domi, flat out.
Yeah,
they really do. Like, it's pretty clear to me that he's been below expectation. And I think at the end of last year, he really, like midway through the season last year into the end of this season, he really came on and he was a really good player for this team. But a lot of that was spent playing with Matthews, right? The stretch he had with Bertuzzi, Matthews, and Domi playing as a line, he was excellent. So it's a conundrum with him. And this is some of the reason that you were reluctant to give him the term and give him the money, but they need more from him flat out. I think they'll get more from him at some point, but is it a good time to mention the thing in the end of the second period there with
Savard? Of course. I was just going to say that I'm trying to find out what his actual even like primary assists are because he's got all 6 of them even strength. I know that. But it's 16 games with 6 points, man. It's
need more from him.
It's just not good enough. Like, at least he hasn't been like a huge detraction when it comes to his defensive play. I think that everyone loves to point to that when he makes a mistake, but overall, to me, it hasn't been He's been
better. He's been better defensively.
Yeah, and he does provide emotional lift to this team. Yeah. There's like, he's an intangibles player for sure, but ultimately, you're paid almost $4 million, and you're an offensive player. When you get these opportunities. I know he was snake bit last night where he gets a couple of good chances and just misses barely, but he's gotta, like, I don't know. Last year, I think he finished with 9 goals. This year, if he's supposed to finish with, I hope, more than that. So anyway, I don't think that's what they really paid for is this complete lack of production.
Tough for him. It's going to be tough for him to get the 9. So
at the end of the second period,
I couldn't believe this. Listen, you're down. So David Savard, you're down 3 on the road. You're getting embarrassed by a historic rival. You're standing there punching a guy in the back of the head.
Yeah.
And listen, Domi is a snap show, and some of us are times we hate it, where we're like, this is a dumb time to do it. This is stupid. Don't do this. And I thought this was a time where it's actually like, I get why he's pissed. Like, I would probably get the gloves off in that situation.
Dude, he's sticking up for himself. That's a gutsy moment. That's a guy giving up 40 pounds.
Yeah.
And like
I got to do
it. And the guy's just hammering him with rabbit punches. Also, I think the thing that really got that going too was the cross check earlier in the game that clearly hurt Domi behind the net, which was a cheap shot, got away with it. No big deal. I'm not crying about it. It's like, that's hockey. You got away with one. Good for you. And Domi's like, how many times has Domi given one of those to somebody too, right? Like, that's his dream to give somebody a cross check.
Oh yeah. He's done that a million times.
Yeah. So I think he's like, fair play, give and take, but he turns around. He's like, all right, let's do this then, big man. And Savard turns his head, won't drop his glove, then tries to drop it like once his teammate comes over and the refs are there. Genuinely embarrassing moment, in my opinion, for Savard. Like, to be that big, to be in that situation, to be the initiator, all of it is like, I had one guy tweet me, should retire during the intermission.
Yeah,
I thought, that would be the honorable thing to do.
What are his teammates saying to him?
Yuck. That's what they're saying.
like you're going back to the locker room, you're sitting down but in the second intermission, you're down 4-1. They're like, bud, you wouldn't go? Like you'd be kind of looking down the bench like, holy crap, he's not going to fight him.
Broken?
He's not going to fight him
and him rabbit punches. Like
he's not going to fight him in that spot. It's sort of like, it's kind of what the Habs are there. They lack passion. They lack the fight. Like they don't have a whole lot of it. Newhook jumps on Holmberg when he runs into the goalie. I guess that was a bit of fight, but that play right there kind of quantifies to me what the Habs are right now. Dude. Just a lifeless sort of soft team with no purpose.
I think that's really well said. But dude, that's supposed to be Savard's dream that he gets Domi to.
Those are downhill punches. He gives giving up a foot on him.
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
What I mean.
Just fire up your team. Show some passion. Get the gloves off. If you hate him so much to punch him in the back of the head 4 times, get the flippers off. Show your teammates something. And instead, your teammates are having a conversation in the Uber without you being like, "Could you believe Savard wouldn't fight Domi?"
Anderson,
oh my God, that was
in there. I broke it up.
Anderson was like, "Buddy, you're not going to go? Like, I guess I'll go."
I'll do it.
That's honestly why he went in there because he's like, "You're not doing this." And then I thought they were going to give him the third man in situation, but it wasn't a fight. That's dark. If I'm a Habs fan watching that, I am embarrassed.
Yeah, that was cowardly. There's just no other way to put it. That was cowardly. Like that was really. Yeah. Like what you get on players for that, right? Where it's like the types where they'll do the dirty deeds, but then they won't want to fight. And that was just it. And this isn't a situation too, where like his team's up protecting a lead and he needs to stay on the ice. Like
perfect time to do it.
Yeah. There was
number one time.
Literally nothing to be said about what he did on that play. I'm going to pivot to Connor Timmins, who gets the first goal of the game. Hand up. I was wrong. Wrong. I had many Timmins takes. So when people would be like, give Timmins a try last year, or even during Justin Hall's tenure, I would go, there's no way that Timmins is better than Justin Hall.
We had that take a bunch, but
I've had many a bad hand up. You gotta be a big person. You got to admit when you're wrong. Connor Timmins, I don't want to like blow this out of proportion here. Ultimately, he's a third pairing guy who's got 4 points on the season. He just scored his first goal. But to me, it's all the other stuff. It's not even just this goal, which is beautiful, right? Like the play before it, just absolutely shaken. Is that Anderson?
Yeah, it was a brutal flyby.
Yeah, like he shakes him out.
Look at the early takes on this.
Yeah,
that's McKee beer league. Yeah. Like legitimately, I do that play at least 3 times a game.
Yeah,
that was so bad.
But you and I had actually talked about this before the game, and so it was kind of opportunistic that this happened because you and I were watching the Argos get a sweet W. A gutsy W for the boys. Who
sorry about your ankle there, Chad. Holy.
Yeah, they lost Chad, but they got it out for their QB. It's all you can ask for. But we were sitting there watching the game, and we started talking about the Leafs a little bit about the game. And I mentioned to you that Timmins has impressed me, and I thought that there's going to be a conversation about who should come out when Hakanpää is back. Part of it, to me anyways, is that it's always better to have depth. So this is a great problem to have. This is not like controversy talk. Yep. 2 is that Hakanpää is not meant to play every single night. Okay. Nope. So whoever does come out is going to come out and go back in. But what I will tell you is in my opinion anyway, this is a situation where it is the bottom 6 guys that are coming, or sorry, like the bottom pairing guys that are coming out. You're not touching the 4 and switching up the pairings. Like this is only a matter of, are you going to play 2 righties? Which hilarious that all of a sudden the Leafs have too many right-handed shot defensemen. It's like a surplus. They're trading one out of town. You know, the nerds are filling their pants.
Dubas never found one in 8 years, and all of a sudden Trilling's like, I have too many.
Yeah, I
give
got
them away. Like,
just take them. Sharks.
I got a DM from somebody being like, "Oh, Liljegren led the Sharks in ice time last night, bud." I was like, like I literally like laughed. He was -1, by the way. And those
honestly, that's more embarrassing than the Savard non-fight. that is. I don't even want to address that any further. Okay, but yeah, what do you do to start when Hakanpää is ready?
I think I don't know. It's tough. I think you go with. I think you take out Benoit first time.
Agree.
You take out Benoit first time, and then you see how it goes with the 2 righties in the bottom pair.
Yep.
And then you just see how Hakanpää is. But I got to tell you, I'm not taking out Timmins flat out. I was just looking at his game logs. He has played in and around 17 minutes for the last 6 games. Yep. Like that's a significant amount of ice, especially for a third pair guy. He's getting out there for a little bit of special teams. I saw him on the second power play unit tonight, which I think is new. I don't remember that happening a ton. He was out there at the end of the last one that they had.
He's done
has done that. Okay, I don't remember that a ton. But anyways, yeah, he's good. He's gaining trust, and you can see it. And I've said it before on the show. It'll say it again. He is the number one guy taking advantage of a fresh set of eyes. He's been awesome.
For sure.
Good for him.
Sure he is. For sure he is. So he's, again, and I'm not going to blow this out of proportion. 4 points so far this season.
Third pair guy. Good third pair guy.
Good third pair guy. Has his flaws, right? Still gets beat wide, like sometimes. Not the most physical player, right? He's never going to lay a bone-crushing hit like Benoit is going to lay for you. And even Benoit tonight had a couple where, he was throwing the body around and trying to make his physicality be an impact. That's something that clearly Berube wants. That's clearly something that Tree Living wants in the defenseman when he's thinking about. They definitely thought that pairing was going to be Benoit and Hakanpää, like when they were envisioning what this blue line was going to look like. I just think that Timmins has made himself really valuable to this team. But the reasons why is he's calm in his own end. He just doesn't make a lot of rushed and panicky plays. And that's the thing that I really like about him is that Toronto last year really struggled to break the puck out. And he's a third pairing guy who I trust when it's on his stick. And I trust when he's in a tight situation to make just the easy, smart, quick read. So good for him.
To me, his second round pick upside shows out when he has the puck in his own zone. Clearly flaws to his games, but he's not afraid to make a pass. He's confident in his abilities, and he's doing a good job on the third pair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it seems like the chat mostly thinks that Benoit is coming out. Jacob Sheehan wrote, Benoit is coming out. Hakanpää comes in. Not even a question. Benoit has been the clear weak link so far this season. Again, I don't even think Benoit has been really bad.
The rest of D's just better, bud.
It's just good. Yeah, it's just it's not even a scathing indictment. He's in terms of a third pairing defenseman that you found off the scrap heap.
Yeah,
Benoit is fine. He's no different than what he was last year. It's just that you've seen him.
Well, he's not playing with Jake McCabe, and Jake McCabe. The Leafs top four is legit been awesome. You look at who that top four is a real top four, and it's nice to see. And then you just kind of worry about the bottom two guys. This is kind of what you do in the NHL. You have 4 great guys, and then you kind of figure out the rest, right? That's kind of how it goes. And that's what they've got. That's what they've got the recipe here. And it's taken Brad Treliving 2 calendar years to get it done. And Kyle Dubas never did it. So,
by the way,
thanks, Kyle.
The blue line, it was another game where I really liked everything with OEL.
Yeah.
I just, you've mentioned this many times, and I think we all have, where it goes, didn't expect this kind of nastiness to his game, but he yaps to the refs, he's involved, dude. I like the guy a lot. I really, really, really
pleasant surprise, man. Pleasant surprise. Because I wasn't horribly down on the signing, but I had the radar was up on that one. And at least to start here for the first month and a half of the season, it's been a great signing. So he's fun to watch right now.
Yeah, listen, the Leafs missed on one of their big defenseman signings last year, and it was an older guy, and this wasn't the same thing. It wasn't like a full reclamation project, but I do think people thought similar things where he went, "Oh, this is the name. This is the wrong time to be buying." What?
Klingberg, you mean?
Yeah, Klingberg. Yeah, it just felt okay, you're gonna go get the big pedigree guy who hasn't. Anyway, it just, again, very different circumstances. Klingberg wasn't coming off of a Stanley Cup win, but it felt in the moment like, holy crap, you're buying this at the exact highest point, and he's been a beautiful fit for this team. He's been awesome.
I will say more of a rapid fire thing, but sick for Pacioretty.
Well, that's not even that's my last major topic.
Just sucks.
Yeah,
it's just, what can you say? The guy is trying his best out there, hammering guys. He was running around like Jordan Tutu in the World Juniors in Halifax right now. He's just trying to hammer everybody. And he's just an older guy who's injury prone, and that kind of stuff catches up to you. And it happened pretty fast. You feel,
buddy, that's just an old guy injury.
Yeah, man. It is
that's just
my hammy.
He gets touched in the back, and he's like, I blew up my hamstring.
My hammy.
Help me get to the room. Help me get to the room.
It sucks because he's been great, and he's been I've done everything I've asked of him. And did he get to 9 games?
Yeah.
Did he get one of his bonus?
He would have gotten to 9. He has to have gotten to 9 because they're at 16 right now, and I don't think he's missed 5 games.
Yeah,
I don't. I think he's missed.
Yeah, no,
4.
you're right. So good. So he got one of his bonuses at least, but
I don't think he's missed 7 full ones. But I mean, I think he's missed 4 or 5 games in the entire season. Okay. So I don't know.
Got the first bonus at least.
Yeah, and I would imagine, hopefully, that he'll be back, that this isn't like a Dak Prescott, you're out for the season hamstring injury. But either way, it's a setback for this guy, and it has to be frustrating given all of the things that he's done working on his body this past offseason. And to me, it's just like it's a confidence thing, right? He's probably feeling healthy. That's part of the reason why he's flying around. He's feeling great about his game. He's feeling great about his opportunity, and he ends up getting hurt. Sucks. Like, and
it's hard to get that confidence back now that happens. Like, you're not going to feel the same coming back.
Yeah, that's it. And you got to come back, and you don't get the training camp to ramp up. You're being thrown right back in the fire when you go out there. And now again, it begs the same kind of question too with the lines, where all of a sudden it seemed like, hey, who's coming out, right? Who's coming out for Dewar and who's coming out for Matthews? And I thought the third line guys were all playing desperate because they didn't want to lose their spot. And to me, I'd had three guys that were on the bubble that I thought were going to kind of be the triple bubble guys. And now it's like losing Pacioretty. There's going to be a big opportunity for somebody. And Robertson got the first look, and I wonder if he continues to get it.
Probably will. I mean, he was the player of the game last night, so he probably, if he keeps that up, you got the belt from old Stoley there. So
yeah, I was gonna say though, that's pretty clearly like we can't keep giving it to the same four guys.
Stolar's had the belt.
I know, but I'm saying,
you can't just be like, screw you guys, it's going back on.
Yeah,
I literally made a barehanded save.
Yeah, they're trying to work it down. That's the bar now for Robertson. They're like, you drew a penalty that wasn't really a penalty.
And
like,
you scored that didn't count.
Yeah.
Good job.
The belt. Anyway, let me see. Do I have anything else? I think that's it. Yeah, it sucks about Pacioretty. It really does. That one
question:
really
who gets the net versus the Sens? It is not a question. It is Anthony Stolarz.
Yeah, it's not a question.
That is a statement. I will say that.
It is a very, very, very clear answer.
Last thing for me quickly. Going to the Leafs game last night, I had an absolute blast. I just, I'm blown away by the amount of people that came up to me. Like, I truly am.
Nice.
I'd say they love the show. They love Leafs talk. I was, I'd had a few Coors, try to remember a few names, but let me go here. Okay, it was Jake, Courtney, Emma, Tony, Chris, Jeff, and that's all I got. Went with my boy Jeff to the game. We had a blast, but people coming up to me and just being like, I love the show. I love the show. You guys do an awesome job. I listen to every show. It blows my mind. Like, I truly, it blows my mind, and it really, really is touching to me. Yeah. So
I was going to say, nobody loves getting recognized more than you. Like, buddy,
it's just crazy to me that like, I'm not this guy. And it's just all of a sudden I'm like, everyone's like, oh my God, I love you. I'm like, what the hell?
Here's what I would say for my part of this. What I would prefer is if you just subscribe to the show. If you subscribe to the show, that means infinity more to me than coming up and saying, well, I don't mind it either, but it's like, just subscribe to the show. That's
they do. They probably do. If they're a big fan of the show, they do.
Hit the thumbs up on the YouTube button. Like, that means the world to me. Seeing where we rank in the numbers.
That's all you care about, eh?
Seeing the views go
You're
up.
a numbers guy. I'm the people person, bud. You're the numbers guy.
Listen, I already know how it works in the business. If you want Leafs talk to be Leafs talk next season, the numbers got to keep climbing. It's the way that it goes. So every time you don't share this podcast on Twitter, on Instagram,
now you're threatening people.
Whenever you see that, it's just know that if you love it so much, you should show it. You should show it. Anyways, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at JD Bunkus, at Sammy McKee. Make sure that you stop Sam if you ever see him on the streets, because God, he loves it so much.
Right. It's so sweet, man. And it's just like, I would never, I can't believe it. It's out of genuine love that I just love it.
I know you love it. I know you love it.
People are saying JD is jealous. That's true. It's true. You're jealous.
I hate it. Why isn't it me?
You're actually jealous that I just got to go out with the boys on Friday night and rip it up.
I was going to say, absolutely no jealousy of getting recognized, because normally when I'm at games, I'm drinking pretty heavily. And so when people are coming up, I'm like, oh no, I'm going to say stupid stuff. I'm gonna talk too much. But yes, oh God, I'd kill for that Friday off. Next Friday, we're getting it off. Next Friday, that's the one. Okay, for both of us, thank you for listening. And no, it really does mean the world when people care about the
Argos. Woo! Grey Cup, baby. Who won the West Final? I didn't see.
Oh, it was Winnipeg in like a total beatdown. It wasn't even close. It was an absolute.
They're a scary team. They're good. They snap it around. It's going to be a tough matchup for our Argos, but buckle up. Our boy Arbuckle's got it. Buckle up, baby.
Arbuckle dropping the F-bomb on the broadcast. Oh, yeah. He's a leader.
Caution Eddie with a right hook.
He's a leader, man. He knows. Give him a microphone. Let him let him go. I don't know.
You got to get him on the show this week, bud. You got to get the Bucks on. Bucksy got to come on.
Making plays, like a lot of turnovers. That's the game script for beating Winnipeg. That's the game script. Anyway, Sammy and I actually, what we really want to know too is we have our bars, but if there are Argos fans like diehards, we don't want to come to like a bar and it's just you there. Okay. Like this is the PSA. We don't want you to be like, my Argos bar is amazing. And we show up, it's you and your two buds.
It's like in Elmira.
Yeah. We're not doing that. Yeah. We're not leaving the city for this. But if there is an Argos bar and we don't know it, because like I'm not going to go to the watch party and watch on that screen. That stinks. No. That screen's brutal.
Too small screen.
I'm not sitting in the cold to not watch it live. Like there's just absolutely no shot in any reality. But if people do know like an elite Argos bar that doesn't get enough credit, fire it our way, because that's where we want to be, is with the people for the Grey Cup. Go Argos, go Leafs. We'll see you on Tuesday night.
Heard of Uline? You know, the have-it-all in-stock, ready-to-deliver shipping and industrial supply specialists. The company that does things for you that are unheard of, like keeping 41,000 items in stock in our own warehouses. With customer service reps on the line to get you what you need, when you need it, 24/7, 365, every time. Maybe you heard it here first. Want to hear more? Visit uline.ca. ULINE, your shipping and industrial supply specialists.
Getting my Honda CR-V has opened the door to adventure, with Econ Mode to maximize fuel efficiency and free to explore. And with tons of cargo space, it's easy to pack for getaways. My dog, camping gear. It's like I've discovered a wild, adventurous side of me. Alice is excited too.
Lease the CR-V LX two-wheel drive for $99 weekly at 2.99% APR for 28 months with $2,000 down. Offer includes $1,500 lease bonus. OAC conditions apply. See HondaOntario.com.
Desjardins Insurance cares a lot about their clients. In fact, it's packed with such a ginormous amount of vast and substantial care that's bursting with even more whoppingly humongous and colossal care. You might be a little surprised when we tell you that all of that care fits in the palm of your hand. With the Desjardins Insurance mobile app, you'll get a big hand with 24/7 paper-free access to all of your home and auto policies, including your digital pink slip. Get insurance that's really big on care at Desjardins.com/care.
You've been listening to NHL Play-by-Play on SiriusXM. Head over to SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, for the best hockey talk.
And of that run, so take us back to ending the 54-year drought. In Game 7, you get a power play goal. You shovel a puck underneath of Kirk McLean. Stands up as the game winner, as it turns out. So take us back to that hot, steamy night. What was it, June 14th of 1994 at the Garden in New York?
Just, I guess just starting, going to the rink, trying to keep your same routine. Brian Leach and I would always drive together down through Times Square, down Broadway 7th Avenue to take a right-hand turn on 33rd Street, and you could feel things were different, even from the Upper West Side. Just the vibe and the energy of the whole city was just electrified. Getting down towards Madison Square Garden, seeing the crowd already starting to build, the police officers surrounding the garden. It was a carnival-like atmosphere. Obviously, we knew we were something on the cusp of doing something that hadn't been done in 54 years. The magnitude of it was palpable. I mean, the energy, just everything just seemed to be so electrified. You try to keep yourself in the moment. You try to stay with your routine. Obviously, there's a much more at stake. And then, we found ourselves, much like we did in 87, up 3-1 in the series, losing to fifth game, where it was pretty much a foregone conclusion that New York Rangers were finally going to win a Stanley Cup after 54 years. Only to find ourselves the party atmosphere got a little bit delayed and then had to go back to Vancouver, which again, we got trounced in Vancouver, just like we did in 87. And now we're coming home for Game 7. And the same thing happened. We felt good about our chances. We felt we were a better team than Vancouver. We felt that we should have wrapped up the series earlier against Vancouver, but that's the greatest thing about sports. You can think all you want, but the reality is they got a heartbeat over there too. They got pride over there too. They're there for a reason because they're a great team. And here we are in Game 7 and happen to go out and execute a great game plan to beat a very hungry, very young, very physical, hard team to play against in Vancouver. And luckily for us, we had a lot of experience. We had a dynamic, incredible amount of talent with Brian Leetch and Sergei Zubov, Alex Kovalev, Adam Graves, and Mike Richter in net, and then sprinkled in with some veterans, some hardened veterans with McTavish and Tikkanen and Steve Larmer and Noonan and Mateau and Jeff Bukaboom and Jay Wells and all the amazing players that banded together that year to create maybe not the most skilled team that's ever won a Stanley Cup, but if you look up the word team, they could put the 1994 Ranger team right there, and that year, that team epitomizes what a team is all about.
SiriusXM NFL Radio Channel 88 brings you expert analysis from former players, coaches, and executives, plus reaction to all the